What's up, everyone? This is the Blurred Podcast, episode 27. And as always, we have Green Tuner.
Hello.
Greencast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Dark Side.
What's up?
And myself, the Ed Underground. How you guys doing? Yes.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Doing good.
Blessed and highly favored, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
As always.
as
Indeed.
always. Yes, absolutely.
So same for myself, too, but yes.
What?
Nothing. All of us, yes. How about
Has been smoking that sweet CBD right now. So
Mhm.
high. So high. So high.
It's high on that CBD.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been sucking a lot of mushroom heads.
There you go.
Oh, that was episode 27.
Yeah. For medicinal purposes, all right?
Only for medicinal purposes.
Organic. Yeah.
They just take him into a dark room. He's like, yeah, that's a mushroom, all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right off the bat, baby. Right off the bat.
you're like,
Coming in swinging.
they're saying,
That's right.
It goes in like, hey, how can I get that mushroom? Like, only through this hole in this wall.
You gotta suck real hard.
It goes through his bathroom stall. That's the only way I can give you these mushrooms.
No.
There's a huge stalk attached to
How
it.
do you guys know all these things
Because I built that
so
stall.
well?
Hey, you weren't at a doctor's office, my friend.
He's the manufacturer of that stall. Oh, that's too funny.
How you guys been though? How's the week been?
Good.
It's
Yeah.
been okay, man. For myself, I got a COVID booster shot this week, and oh my goodness. So I got a booster shot and the flu shot at the same time. And they give you an option like, hey, do you want to put both shots in one arm? I said no.
Cocktail? Damn.
Yeah, like right,
Yeah.
hey, we just want to fuck up your whole life. And I was like, nope, let's do it one in each arm. So they ended up doing it like that. And the COVID side effects, the COVID vaccine side effects, I usually the first day in the past, I just been feeling really like I'll get a fever, something like that, minor stuff for like maybe a few hours, and after that I feel fine. I have the largest armpit in the world due to one of the side effects is your lymph nodes might swell up,
Right.
and,
Swell, yeah.
and there's a lymph node under your armpit, and
Yeah.
my
So
armpit
you're like this?
yeah, so I'm like, yeah,
You're walking around like a scarecrow.
You swole?
no, I'm like, no, like I'm swollen, like move out my way, bitch. But as soon as someone hits my arms, oh man,
Yeah.
I am in pain.
Yeah.
It hasn't been that bad. Honestly.
Interesting. Not heard about that side effect before.
Neither have I.
It makes my
That's-
penis very enlarged. All
Oh,
the
okay.
time.
Well,
That note
that's good.
especially.
There you go.
Watch that just run to the hospital to get
No,
Like shoot me everywhere.
Shoot it straight into my
I
dick.
wouldn't need that.
Straight into the dick.
Wouldn't need that. Thank you very much.
But yeah,
Well,
it
like-
just sucked.
You know what? Like a true patriot, my blood is pure. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So you and Fauci can go to
Yeah.
hell.
Right.
Wow.
All right.
Like a
Excellent.
like a true Mexican American.
Yeah,
His blood is pure.
pure, 100% pure.
He stands alone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every morning I just put on that Kid Rock song that he released. Have
Yeah.
you guys heard that piece of crap?
No.
Oh,
Something new?
I didn't realize
Yeah.
Kid Rock's still releasing stuff.
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah,
that
I only
either.
found out about it because for some reason, every time I'm going to YouTube, I keep getting like right wing things. So,
Yeah,
like,
for some
one of the
reason.
videos was
Yeah.
for
I do too.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, he has a video, and I guess it's like the anthem for the anti-vax people.
Nice.
It's
What?
horrific. Yeah,
Rock on. Rock on.
Hey, nothing cooler than catching COVID, and unvaccinated. So
Well, if we let people know that you have big dick syndrome after you get the vaccine. I think
oh yeah.
that might-
they're
what
lying
is
so
Fauci
low.
talking about? He needs to talk about the real motivators here to get people going
right,
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
Side effects include
large
big
penis,
dick.
big dick. Like your penis is
Big
too
dick.
large. And I guarantee you there will be lines. People like, I know I got a booster shot yesterday, but I feel like I gotta get a booster shot again.
Yeah.
Hey, but hey, I think
Here's your I got vaccinated sticker, and here's your box of Magnum condoms.
Wow.
That's the ad for the vaccine.
When you edit this podcast, put air horn. As soon as Darkseid said Magnum condoms, just put air horn in there. That's actually will be a perfect announcement.
That's true.
I should be working for the state.
You really
Like,
should.
I mean,
You should be working
should.
for the
I should.
FDA.
Yeah.
Just or no, who is
CDC.
it? It's not the
CDC.
CDC.
Yeah,
CDC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you should work.
Yeah, because you'll see.
I'll
the
work for
vaccine.
I'll work for anyone. I can spit anything at this point.
I'm not gonna lie, that was really good.
I'm 100% with you too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know it's
Bro.
fake, and I'll still get the shot because I'm like, larger penis. Yes, please sign me up.
Yeah, there you go.
Be in the front of the line. Come on!
You
Be
actually,
like tearing down the front door.
you actually will probably see a lot more fights from men because everybody's trying to get in line, trying to get this big dick energy. Like, yeah, you might, side effects. You might get fever, chills, large penis. Like,
Large penis, full head of hair again,
Yeah.
high testosterone. Like, I mean, just like it'd be a great ad.
it really
It
would.
would
Be.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
Anyways,
But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with.
Speaking of- big dicks,
What's up?
huh? And
Hey.
big shoes.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
I feel like there's a sneaker corner coming up.
there is a sneaker corner.
Oh yeah.
I've never done sneaker quarter before.
That's how you do a transition. That's how you do
I
it.
mean, Ed, I do have probably the biggest feet of anybody on this podcast. So you know what they say about people with big feet, right?
I'm your father. But go on.
They talk about big shoes. So,
What?
but before I talk about sneaker corner, did anybody do anything interesting this past week?
This past week,
Interesting.
worked like crazy.
Yeah, pretty much work. Nothing really
Does
interesting.
it work?
Just work.
Shut up, Ben. No one's asking you.
No, but
Halo.
you know what he does. You know what he does. He works. He does work and does stuff for his other group of
For
friends
his other friends.
that-
Yeah,
that don't
Cars and
care,
Culture.
Cars and culture. is so-
Actually, you know what, Ed? Could you just stand maybe like a foot up? Let me see your chest.
No,
You
Don't-
piece of shit.
no.
Wait,
Let me
Does
see
he-
your chest. Come
does
on.
he
No, no.
Oh, you mean
Come on.
this?
the same podcast.
See? I
What
told you.
the fuck? Why are you wearing their merchandise?
Do you own
What do you
only
mean
one?
there?
Like, do you
What
only
do you
want
mean there?
one
It's
hoodie or
our-
something?
Huh?
Yeah, and this is ours too.
No,
I wear multiple hoodies. I have black hoodies.
Where's our blurred merchandise?
Yeah,
And why aren't you wearing it?
at least for us.
We don't have blurred merchandise.
Let's make some, son.
Fuck, you are the
Yeah.
worst.
No
You are
one's
the
ever
worst.
asked until now.
we've asked
We've
several times.
asked
Oh
you.
my
We've
goodness.
repeatedly asked.
Jokingly.
There's no jokes.
Exactly.
It wasn't
Exactly.
joking.
It wasn't joking. Why would we
Well,
joke about that?
Why'd you pause?
Because we're in disbelief that you actually think
Yeah,
we're
it's
joking.
pretty shocking that you thought we were joking.
It took 27 episodes. Is this 27?
This is 27.
This is
yes.
27.
I think
Dear
so.
God. Dear God. Took 27 episodes for you to realize that
Hold on. Is
we
this
would
actually-
like merch.
Is this actually episode 27?
I'm a very
It
serious
doesn't
man.
feel like that's right.
I don't feel like that's right either.
But
No,
it could be. It could be.
Wait, did he say
Listen.
the wrong episode number again?
No, that was me. That's on me. That's on me this time.
I should ask.
I'm actually checking right now.
Oh.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let me see.
All right. Well, as you guys can clearly see or hear, nothing but the utmost professionalism from this crew.
No,
Where
this
are
ep-
we
yeah,
and
this-
what is going on?
No, this is episode 27.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
that's
God.
27.
Episode
Okay,
26 was
all right.
See You Space Cowboy, or in
Oh,
Head's
okay.
words, See You in Space
Yeah.
Cowboy.
See you in space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Outside of that, so
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys had a good weekend, a good
Yeah.
week. But
Why the fuck do you keep drinking orange juice every show?
But I keep my immune system up.
All right.
all right.
Do you have the
Okay.
vaccine?
Just get the vaccine,
This-
you bastard.
Do you have the vaccine?
It's not about the
Look,
vaccine. I don't
guys.
want to catch a cold either.
It's a
Guys.
yes or no. Do you have the
No, no,
vaccine?
no. Let's
I
not
have
do
to keep
that.
my blood
Let's-
abuse to myself.
Oh my God. All right. I don't need to know any of this.
And let-
Keep going.
yeah,
Keep going.
let's just.
Keep going.
That's why I said, look, guys, let's just stop it because something's gonna come out. And sure enough,
Keep Ed. You keep chugging that orange juice, okay? Don't listen to anybody.
don't listen.
It's got those COVID fighting nutrients and
All
minerals
right.
that your body needs.
This is for colds.
You know what? No, you know what Ed's gonna do.
Of course, you idiot.
Ed is the type of person that drinks ginger ale talking about, man, this
Uh,
is the best medicine ever. You know, what black people love ginger ale. Like anytime you get a cold, sick, flu, what's the
Oh.
they always say? Get the ginger ale. Get the ginger ale. Some
oh,
crackers.
okay. All right. I
think
thought it was
that
the
might be
only
a
one.
minority thing because
But that's a
Mexico's
minority.
minority
That's
thing.
definitely a
Yeah.
minority thing.
Yeah.
Like there's not even fucking real ginger in it. Like it's
It
mostly
doesn't
sugar.
make any sense.
It just-
Yeah,
It
you're
doesn't,
drinking
yeah.
sugar water when you have a cough. I told my mom, I was like, what are you talking about? This only makes sense if you have like an upset stomach or something.
Right, but
That's it.
I guess it's
But like I
minority
got
thing.
ginger ale for like a cold and it was the weirdest thing in the world.
I feel like okay, so it must be like every brown mother out there in the
This is
world.
low income thinking.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, hey,
It's like-
low income thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't afford the hospital. You just go to the convenience
but
store.
who started that? Like,
Ginger.
like who started? There had to be one person that was like, you know what? Like, I can't
Big
afford no
Ginger is who
Robitussin.
started it.
Yeah, but like she said, big ginger.
Yeah.
Like, ginger ale. You
You
think
know
ginger ale?
what? I'm
right?
trying to think. I think my parents also pivoted into Sprite at one point too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sprite
Jeez.
or
Anything green.
Squirt sometimes. Anything that's
Anything that's
within
green.
the citrus
Anything
family.
green. Yeah.
If it comes
Oh,
in a-
wow.
What
if it
about
comes in a
Vicks
grain
Vapor Rub?
classic.
I thought I was the only
Well,
one.
Vicks Vapor Rub's actual like for decongestion.
Oh yeah, my
but
grandma
it's-
used to like that was like the fix all. Like if
Yes.
you got like a bump in your head, she
Oh.
would like rub it on my forehead with like salt and stuff. I obviously didn't do shit, but
Yeah. Vicks Vapor Rub, yeah. You put it on your chest, you put it on your feet.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll put it in weird spots. Like I remember growing up, my mom would be like, "All right, put this Vicks Vapor Rub underneath your on your lip." They're like,
Yeah.
"The fuck?" So I'm like, my lungs feel like I don't know what
they're burning
They
up.
burn- like that's probably why I
Burn
got-
it out, boy. Burn it out.
Like here, just sniff this arsenic. It'll take care of your lungs, no problem.
Get some
Yeah.
asbestos. They're good for you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But all right, so
All right,
sneaker
back to the
really
sneaker
quick. Yeah,
corner.
Mhm.
let's just get the show on the road. So I think I talked about these shoes in the past. The shoes I wanted to get, could not get them. They're just a black owned boutique clothing brand that was started, I don't know how many years ago, but they've come out with some really dope shoes. Their shoe that just came out is on the heels of another shoe that came out, Air Jordan 1. And it was, or I'm sorry, Air Jordan 1 came out on the heels of another shoe, which is the Air Jordan 3 Ama Years. And it was rated the shoe of the year. Dope shoe. They did a really good job with the selling of the shoe. Stopped a lot of bots from copying a lot of pairs of it. It was really good for manual users who were trying to cop the shoe and whatnot. So, without any further ado, the shoe I was able to get was the Jordan 1
Oh.
Ama Meniere.
Whoa. That does look cool. That does look
Let
cool.
me turn off the light so you guys can see it a little better.
That's better.
Yeah, so Jordan 1 Ama Meniere. This is unfortunately not in my size. This is size 8. I plan to resell the shoe so I can pick up my own pair in my size. But the really cool thing about the shoe is that it's just a really, really premium Air Jordan 1. The inside of the shoe is like a silky, a silk
Padded material.
Yep, padded silky material on the inside.
What is the out? What is the What is that material on the outside? Is that like alligator skin, snake skin?
It's supposed to be.
Looks like
It's supposed to mimic like a snake skin type
Okay.
material. It's not actual snake skin. I do have some shoes though that do have ostrich sneakers that have ostrich on the outside. Really cool. They're like made with 3 different animal leathers.
Nice,
Yeah, this one
nice.
is supposed to mimic snakes, like a snake skin type texture. The leather on the outside is kind of hard to see, but it's cracked. It's like a cracked leather look.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but it's all cracked leather. Very visually stunning shoe, very comfortable shoe. Textures are out of this world. Just a really, really, really dope shoe. And
So this was a big deal. This shoe when it came out. This is
yeah, this is a really big deal of a shoe that came out.
You said this was shoe of the year. Was this it?
So the shoe of the year was the Air Jordan 3 version of this. Came out a couple months ago, earlier this year, and it was ranked for a lot of people the #1 shoe of the year. There was another shoe that came out, Trophy Room Air Jordan 1s from Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son, part of his shoe store called Trophy Room. But the problem is that a lot of shoes got backdoored. There's only I think 12,000 shoes made, and a lot of them got backdoored to celebrities, shoe collectors, shoe resellers, and so forth. So people that should have been shoe of the year, but ended up not being because of all the politics behind it. But yeah, this shoe was a really, really dope shoe. I was able to cop this manually. Like I said, I waited 10 minutes in line for a size 12. Size 12 sold out instantly, pretty much, for me. But because this was so protected against bots, I was able to go to other smaller sizes. I was able to actually pick up a size. So the size 8 is currently, I think they're running for anywhere from about $400 to $500 right now. The shoe initially when it came out, I believe, was $200, so you could get double the cost for it at the moment. Like I said, I'm going to sell this shoe for sure, and I'm going to get a shoe in my size. Another really cool thing about the shoe is that, so like in the inside of the shoe, inside of these, I don't know what they're called, but these leather straps that are part of the shoe, there's a message inside on one of the tabs. There's a message, a quote, and I don't know if this is from Michael Jordan. I don't believe it is, but it might be. But I don't think it was. But something of the sense of expect all things of yourself and blah blah blah, and that you can do it. Little touches like that. But this is a really dope shoe, a really highly anticipated, a really highly collected shoe. And I think the shoe is gonna go up over time for sure. So I'm gonna hold on to the shoe for a little bit, sell it, and then hopefully pick up my size 12, or I might just pick up the size 12 and just sit on this pair until many years or months from now. I believe the shoe will probably go to like $800 probably. So not a bad shoe. It's probably one of the best shoes. Oh, and the box for it's kind of dope too. So the box, comes with like a plastic sleeve. I'm gonna turn off my light again. Comes out with a plastic sleeve on it, which is kind of cool. A lot of shoes don't come with anything other than the box. But a really nice touch of a box as well. So really dope. I like Armand Venier's line. They do really dope stuff. I like their clothes as well. So pretty cool.
Is that the most premium release that you've ever seen from like Nike? Like for the Jordan line?
The best shoe premium by quality.
Not the best shoe. I'm saying the most premium release. Like they leaned into the material and packaging and like really released it as a less of a shoe and more of like a targeted collector item. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the top one would be the Jordan Air Jordan 1 Dior.
Re-release?
No,
okay.
Dior. So Dior did a collab with Jordan, and it was a super, super premium shoe. To this day I still haven't seen one in person, but apparently the quality.
Air Jordan Dior's?
Yeah, Air Jordan 1 Dior's. The shoe, I think when it first came out, was maybe $1,000 came out brand new for retail, I believe. But then I think the price is probably right now around $8,000 to $10,000 a pair.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And it might be more now and that's a really sought after fake shoe. So if you see somebody walking around with some Dior's, honestly, 9 times out of 10 they're probably fake. But they're very sought after, highly favorite shoes within the community because of the fact that they were Dior's, and it's such a simple collab. It's nothing like really crazy about it. Jordan has done some really awesome collabs in the past, and this was not a really crazy one, because a lot of fake shoes they show like Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones in the past, and there's a whole bunch of they're always trying to make designer brand of shoes, but this one being like a sanctioned, actual, legit Jordan branded shoe collab, this was a big deal. So that was probably, if the top premium like Air Jordan 1 recently that's been put out, it would be the Dior's. And then the last shoe I'm going to talk about really quick is another shoe I picked up. And I probably should start spacing these out a little bit more, because sometimes I have sneaker corners, some weeks I don't. I still have a lot more shoes that I've never talked about, but we'll see. But yeah, these shoes just came in today. These are the Air Jordan 1 Gore-Texes. Let me turn off the camera. So
Gore-Tex brand?
Yeah, Gore-Tex. Yeah.
Nice.
So do you actually know about Gore-Tex?
I know the Seinfeld episode where George bought a Gore-Tex jacket and he claimed it was the most like impenetrable material on the planet.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much exactly what this is. So Gore-Tex is bulletproof. They're bulletproof shoes. So anybody tries to shoot you, just take off your shoes and you can swap the bullets off with your feet.
Nice. Are you going to actually test that? Like put your shoes on and just shoot at your feet?
Yeah, I've already done that already.
All right.
And there's a reason why you guys have never seen my feet, because they're actually been amputated due to the fact that I've just shot straight holes in my no, these are supposed to be waterproof, pretty much weatherproof shoes. I mean, I had never seen anybody wear Jordan 1 saying, hey, I'm gonna step in mud and water on purpose. But yeah, these are supposed to be waterproof Air Jordans. Relatively don't believe that, and it's kind of a waste, mainly because inside the toe is not like webbed 100% all the way up. So I mean, you can step into water probably up to like maybe right here, which is actually pretty deep for if you're wearing sneakers, and you should hypothetically keep your feet dry. It is slightly like webbed off so that no water can get in. But yeah, it's a dope shoe. I've always wanted some Gore-Tex Air Jordan 1s. They came out with some Air Jordan 1s in the past of Gore-Texes that I really liked, but couldn't cop them. So this is kind of like the consolation prize. So yeah, this is a dope shoe.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's really it for the sneaker corner. Just want to show
Sneak of the week.
Yeah. And I think I got a lot more heat coming on the way for sure. But we'll see how that goes in the future. But we'll see.
The addiction is real. All right.
The addiction is real.
I was gonna say.
I think I told on Ed's podcast today, or Ed's stream today, I think I admitted that I have a problem. I think like in the past month or so, I probably spent like $1,000 on shoes. Just on sneakers.
So. Yeah, that might be a tad bit of a problem.
Yeah.
A tad bit of a problem.
Just maybe. Yeah.
So 28 is the intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad.
We're all here because we love you.
Yeah. That will be.
I just start rummaging through the boxes looking for my size. I'm doing this to help you.
Well, I told Ed, I was like, hey man, like I do got a lot of shoes, and some shoes are not even worth like really trying to resell, trying to recoup money. So I was like, hey, if there's a shoe, as long as I know your size, I'm like, I gave my brother-in-law a pair of Air Force One Travis Scotts, and those shoes are $800 roughly.
Yeah,
I think you told us. You got them used, right?
Yeah, I got them used. So I think brand new they're $800. I think used you probably could sell them for like $650. They're in really good shape, so I think I could probably get close to retail or the resale price for them. But yeah, like if I know you guys are shoe size and I cop something good, I have no problem. I think you guys are a decent pair. So
well, I'm a size 20.
Size 20. Nice.
Extra wine.
Like you have a girth. Very
girthy toe.
Hey baby, you got a girthy toe.
So okay, but I'll hook you guys up. We'll see what happens.
All right, cool.
All right, but
all right.
Enough of the damn girthy ass toes and all other stuff. Talk about something else that was very girthy. His story was She-Man Revelations.
Yes.
AKA Masters of the Universe Revelations.
Mastress of the Universe.
Mattress of the Universe. Because all those deep lesbian subplots that were happening in Masters of the Universe. So
Part 2 finally dropped, huh?
Part 2.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, finally dropped.
All
right, Ed, you ready to take down these assholes?
Way back.
Go
first.
Oh my goodness.
Right. No, Ed Underground. No, Ed Underground.
Is it 2v2?
Let's let these two cupcakes go first, and then we'll put our own 2 cents.
Okay.
Let's talk about but way back in episode 13, I believe, we talked the Blur podcast revisited for the first time He-Man Revelations Part 1. And that's a great re-listen if you haven't gone back to listen to that. I happened to listen to it recently out of curiosity, just to go back over some interesting factoids or whatnot, just in case it might pop up. And I found a couple gems and nuggets in there, but as I recall, We both who watched it? Dreamcast, you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched it.
watched
Green
all of
Tuner.
it.
Oh,
Oh, you mean the
the
previous podcast
yeah,
or
for,
now?
Yeah, for the previous podcast. I
Oh.
think.
For Peter Podcast, I only watched like 2 episodes, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh,
gotcha.
Yeah,
wait,
now
he-
I've
he's-
watched everything.
Do you mean what? You mean listen to or watch the last the
Watch
podcast or the part one?
No. I'm sorry. Watched part 1 when we reviewed it the first time.
Oh,
The first
I think
time.
it's
Yeah.
might have been.
I hadn't
What do you
watched
mean?
it.
Podcast.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I hadn't watched the whole thing when the first time.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
I
And
think
Head
both Ed
Underground
and I only
definitely.
watched like a couple episodes.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact. Yen Underground only watched 1 episode
Yes.
because it comes up several times in that episode. That
Two.
yes,
so get your
2.
facts
You may have
straight,
watched
too.
two episodes.
No.
Uh,
He said at the beginning of that episode. 'Cause I listened to the episode literally an hour before the podcast.
There you go.
And
There you go.
He said, I only watched 1 episode, and I knew to stop there because I started to see the signs already, and I stopped there. But then later on the episode, he was like, "Oh, well, I actually watched 2. I watched a little bit of 2, and that's how I knew." So he didn't actually watch 2 full episodes. He watched the first episode at first, as he said. Then he said he watched the second episode, just a little bit of it, and he realized this is not for me.
Oh, that is true. You watched
So,
like 1 and a half.
after-
He determined
after
He
now
knew the whole
watching-
series.
Yeah,
After-
All right, let him talk.
Hey,
After
and
now
that was the
watching-
episode. That's the infamous episode where Ed said, "I'm speaking."
I know.
That is the
That is true.
episode. Yes.
Oh my
That is the
goodness. Yeah,
episode.
that's when you.
I was thinking.
You know
so
what?
now
I might
after
side
watching,
against you, piece of shit. You did treat me like crap on that episode.
Mhm.
So now after watching the entirety of
Mhm.
part 1 and 2, I did see 2 episodes because I actually looked and see, oh, you know what? I actually walked into the first 2 because you can actually backtrack and see what you watched previously.
Sure.
Mhm.
So I wanted to actually start over just to get a full detail of part 1 and 2.
Mm.
Okay, but at that point, you had only watched 2 episodes.
Yes, after
Okay.
reviewing it. So yes.
Okay, cool.
right.
All right.
And I have, by the way, I could when you're done, I have special test results that have just come in, Mari style, which
right.
I will read off.
Oh,
But
snap.
first, let's get to the review
What?
here.
I already know
Go
the
ahead,
review.
go ahead.
This one
ahead.
Of now.
What?
No,
Yes.
I'll let you guys go first.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Go first. Yeah. Let's
Hey,
shake
hey,
it up a
hey,
little.
I'm speaking.
Oh, he's
Oh,
speaking.
well,
He's
let you
speaking.
speak. Go ahead.
I guess we could do a general review real quick. I guess
Yeah,
the
go
the
for it.
basic purpose of what we're doing here.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Creamcast, what did you think? Go ahead.
I
Kick off.
thought overall, to kick it off, I thought it was not bad. I thought it wasn't bad. I thought that the second part of it was a lot more interesting on certain aspects because there are certain things I was not expecting whatsoever. I think the first episode, part 1, it was kind of formulaic. You kind of knew what was going to happen to an extent. And it wasn't anything that was, I won't say you necessarily knew what was going to happen, but it was going along, streaming or I would say, how's the best way to say it? It was just doing the normal beats of any type of show. It was just like, okay, He-Man dies, they're trying to find He-Man and so forth. But in the second one, there is things that I was not going to expect whatsoever. The fact that He-Man or Prince Adam would try to draw on the power without the power, sword of power.
Oh, yes.
That blew
And the
my-
results of that,
The results of that blew my mind. Even though
by
I-
far the highlight for me of the entire series. But where you're going, go ahead.
Yeah. The fact that he was as savage as he was, it went from like the first episode, like, when Prince Adam died, He-Man died, it was kind of done off screen type of. It was like big flashlight, they're all gone. You didn't see you didn't see a body, you didn't see anything, I don't believe. I don't think you saw Prince Adam's body, you didn't see Skeletor, they just kind of got vaporized. But this one, like, He-Man was just destroying people left and right. And granted, you didn't see people inherently dying per se.
No, but you saw the blood
Blood,
and guts dripping from his
His
hands.
hands. So you would like, he went
Yeah.
full Hulk, almost Hulk mode.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Avengers Hulk going berserk, and I just love that part right there. It just reminded me of Tila and He-Man. It reminded me of Natasha and Hulk. It was
Okay.
it was that same kind of dynamic, but I liked it because it was kind of left field for He-Man. I think Kevin Smith did a really great job overall. this is not a story overall that when you think of He-Man, this is not a deep story. I mean, if he was given a full hour to do every episode and so forth, I mean, it could have been a totally different story. But
I mean,
given the time-
I disagree a little bit. I think that in the time given, he dug into these characters in the motivations or backgrounds. He gave people purpose who previously, we talked about this in the last episode. This is a 22-minute Saturday morning cartoon show aimed at children, very young children, to sell toys. He took that and gave these characters motivation, gave them like history, gave them, you know, like a purpose for what they're doing and the decisions that they ultimately made, what they struggled with. I talked about in the last episode, I talked about how these are all like veterans from like a war. They all fought a war. They've been fighting this war for a long time. And after a while, wars leave scars, breaks up families. People have to make sacrifices. This is the stuff. This is what I was expecting from a Netflix Master of the Universe show. I didn't want a continuation of what I've seen. I didn't want the status quo continued. I wanted something that took, you know, it took some risks, showed you something different while retaining the things that you like, the familiar things like Skeletor. I forgot that Mark Hamill voices Skeletor. So like as soon as I got back into the groove with Skeletor, I loved him again. And there's a lot of lines that Skeletor has where it's like jokes he sneaks in between dialogue that I think are funny. And they do undermine Skeletor as a villain, but that's the way he's always been. He's been a goofy villain from when you were kids. He had that squeaky voice and he looked imposing. He sounded hilarious. Yeah. I think Mark Hamill did a good job there. But in terms of the weight of the writing, I think it was good. I think that they brought a lot of purpose to a lot of characters. They brought a lot of purpose to the world, the universe, and kind of spread out like the kind of the blurbs on the back of the box and gave them more meaning. So I would say that, yeah, the story was great.
Well, what I was going to say though is that if Kevin Smith had been given a full hour, he could have fleshed it out
even more.
The 22 minutes that he had for every episode, I think he did a wonderful job. And the reason why I say that because it was almost straight to the point. More so than the first part one. I feel like part two, it got really to the point of people's motivations and really portraying what was going on with each of these characters and a lot of the backstory behind. I didn't feel like, man, this is just dragging on. I felt like, okay, this is moving, and it's moving at a pretty fast pace. And when you think about it, you know, it's only 110 minutes of, you know, of He-Man. They did a really good job of doing all these different stories of people and the struggles like you were saying, the struggles that they went through, and then culminated to this final battle and ultimately the resolution of this arc of sorts.
And with that final battle, cinematic as hell. I mean, like, because there is a final battle, and that last episode, again, spoilers, like you guys know, everything possible in the He-Man universe they threw at one battlefield, and it was pretty damn good. There was callbacks to previous characters. There were callbacks to characters we haven't seen again. I saw the Green Tuner's one of his favorite characters, and I immediately thought about him. The battering ram.
Yeah, when he jumped out of the castle.
Yep. Immediately, I was like, man, I wish he was in those series more. But the idea that the rules of death and life were kind of thrown into flux at the end of a series. I like the concept of that and what that meant to characters you've never seen before come back in cool ways. I like that Orko, he got kind of a really cool resolution and a
redemption.
Spoilers, return. Yeah, he's as a kid, he was one of my favorite characters. I think for all kids, I think we all loved Orko.
Yeah, he was mainly made for children.
But his return was badass when he does come back. And then I don't know what to say, but I want to comment afterwards because a lot of it's like a rebuttal on what was previously stated very surely by the other underground.
Are you guys done kissing?
Yeah. Kissing ass
of the show.
Yes.
Yeah. But you're in full Snapflake power.
The thing is, can I say one thing that is thing that is kind of negative about the show?
Go ahead.
Oh,
I know, right?
And I'll also add some negatives too.
Really?
Go ahead.
What?
The one
Okay,
negative
you.
thing, the one negative thing I saw, there was a lot of calls to different genres or different action scenes, kind of reminiscent of other action scenes of different types. So one thing that definitely caught my mind was the scene where I forgot her. I don't remember character's name, so please forgive me. But the one black chick, she had the two.
Oh, what's
laser-
the wrist things?
Yeah, the
Andrea.
wrist-
Yeah.
she pulled
I don't know her.
Iron Man. She pulled
Andrea, I
Iron
think.
Man 2.
Andrea.
Andrea. She pulled Iron
Yeah.
Man 2 so hard.
He sure did.
And I was
Yes,
like,
yes. When she did that spin.
Spin
Just
thing.
floating in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I was like, that's literally what Iron Man. He told Rhodey, get down. And he's
Yeah.
He did the laser thing, cut all the soldiers
Yeah.
around him, which
Yeah.
that always irks me because one, her laser, like that's not how lasers work. It's not like you shoot a laser and then all of a sudden like you have this really high intense laser and then 10 feet the laser's gone. Like she cut through all the bad guys, but she didn't cut through any of the good guys.
Any
I'm
of the
like-
good guys. That's what I was thinking. So I'm like, how come she didn't kill like half her platoon?
she should.
Yeah.
Just doing that little spin move.
Like she should have killed everybody, but it's just certain things like small things I noticed, like, and it's not a big deal, but it was just like I noticed that, and I was just like,
Yeah, we can't be criticizing laser technology in Saturday morning cartoons, people.
Yeah,
We
can't-
don't want to
yeah.
go down that road
Yeah,
at
that's,
all.
That's why I was like,
Let's not.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a thing that I saw. I'm like, is it really an issue? Nah. It was just
Yeah.
like, it was just one
Yeah.
of those moments. Just like, like it's cool, but do better, guys.
Okay.
That's just my one real criticism that I can
That's
think
it.
of right
All
now.
right.
I thought structure wise, there are a couple of down times where I'll admit I turned on 1.5 times speed to get through some talky moments where there were like spelling out a little, like we're talking about character motivation about
Exposition.
exposition, my mom, my dad, and I mean I get it, this is gonna help later on, but look, I got a podcast to record here, it's 1.5 times speed on those.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but Sarah Michelle Gellar, who I like, big Buffy fan from back in the day, but I don't remember not being as, I guess I was tired of her as Tila, the voice of her as Tila. Did not like it that much. I don't know why. I don't know what was different this time, but
It's a lot too.
it's a lot of Tila. It's the Tila show, remember?
It is the
So
Tila
Tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah,
Tila
Tila
Tequila. Which I watched later, right after that.
Nice.
That's a good tape right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right,
All right,
well,
Ed,
I
you
think
ready
that's
to shut down these two assholes?
Take him down. Take him
All
down.
right,
Yeah,
come on,
let's
take them
go.
down, man.
All right, so I stand from what I said last time that I feel like this is going to be the Tila show
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
when we were promised as fans that this would be the He-Man show.
Right.
He-Man was basically the side character of
Yes.
the Masters of the Universe.
Mhm.
It was all Tila, even towards the end. Now, what I did like about this is the animation. I said that before, and I'll say it again. I love the animation style.
I don't think you said that before, by the way, but
Well,
go ahead.
If I didn't say it before, I'll say it again.
All
You're
right.
saying it
now.
now when it
Okay.
counts.
I'm here to keep you honest, my friend.
Oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Mm.
I like the animation style.
Mm.
Oh, and
Ah.
to also say about the whole LG, the lesbian scene between Tila and Andrea.
Yeah, yeah,
Forgive
big
me
time.
if I've seen her name wrong.
Mhm.
So I saw that in the beginning. I
Mm.
saw that again when I watched 1 and 2.
Oh,
Now, why I said that was because when I noticed the same interaction with He-Man and Tila before
Uh-huh.
Tila knew
uh-huh,
who He-Man was,
uh-huh.
what the fight scenes where they're like holding hands and doing things,
Uh-huh.
you saw the connection between the two.
Uh-huh.
You see that same thing with Andrea.
Should I
and Tila.
play like clips from the episode?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
okay,
yeah,
what's
it's
up?
too much. All right, it's too
No,
much.
I'm not
sorry.
done. I'm not done.
Go
But
ahead.
they had that same interaction
Yeah.
with Tila and Andrea. Also, there
Mhm.
has been mention that some parts, script-wise, has been
Mhm.
taken out of
Mm.
part 2
Mm.
regarding their relationship. And
Mm.
I noticed, you can also go back and watch this if you want. I noticed
mhm,
at the
mhm.
end
Mm.
of the series, the last episode,
Mhm.
you see Andrea, her mouth moving to Tila,
Mm.
but there's no dialogue.
She says, "I love you," right?
Mm.
I don't
Mm.
know. It could be
Mm.
anything.
Oh,
But
what
I
does
know
Siri
there's-
say?
There's also
Hold on.
a
I
scene
noticed.
when she was munching rug and they removed that as well.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Mm.
That's the
So,
director's cut.
but
I think
That-
Siri's trying to like go like liar,
It's in the last episode,
Yes.
towards
Yes.
the end, that you see
Uh-huh.
her mouth moving and you see Tila's mouth moving, but
Uh-huh.
you hear no words coming out.
I know that's weird. Animation is usually perfect, but yes, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, but that
No, it's
wasn't
true.
anywhere else. But hey,
Right,
that was
weird.
Anywhere else.
Now,
Yeah.
also, really quick, I want to point out that we watched the same first part episodes as you did. And I wanted to play the clip where you implied that there's a lesbian relationship. And Creamcast and I adamantly said, there is nothing there. We don't see anything there.
It
We
seemed
saw
like
the
it's
same
there.
thing.
It's-
Right. I don't know what you're seeing, what's going on in your head.
I just
Clearly-
clearly it.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, we saw
Yeah,
the
it's
same
about
thing.
implications.
We saw the same thing, and yeah, it's all about implications. And
Uh-huh.
I was just, like at the end of the series, we'd see like a hot girl on girl kiss, and Ed
Oh, we didn't
Underground
see
would be
that.
right. He would be right.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be validated.
Hmm.
Right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, like I said, there's been mention that things have been taken out,
Sure.
script wise.
Right.
But like I said earlier on this
Right.
episode,
Script.
that there have been some when you see He-Man and Tila interacting while they're
Mhm.
fighting, how they're basically doing their own combos, whatever. You see that
Mhm.
same thing that Andrea and Tila did earlier
Mhm.
in the
Okay.
beginning of part two.
Okay.
Or part one, too.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Go for it.
Are He-Man and Tila a couple?
Tila likes He-Man. That's obvious.
That's why I asked.
At the end, maybe.
No. It's not maybe.
I don't know.
There's
Are-
one specific scene that should answer your question. They've
Are-
made it
what scene?
very clear. Oh
Are-
no, I don't think too hard on it. They made it very clear.
But no.
What was it?
No. But let me answer the question. I'm gonna ask the question again. Are He-Man and Tila, are they a couple? Not maybe. Is it yes or no?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
No.
So you're saying that they're doing combo, they're doing their own, combination attacks and all this other stuff.
hmm
If they're
But you
not,
see the connection.
they have a connection. Sure, they're supposed to have a connection. That's been well established. That they
I mean,
have
if you
been-
see like Tila smiling, looking at He-Man, and He-Man smiling, looking at Tila, oh, and then even at the end, they weren't a couple,
Mm.
but at the end, you see Adam with his cheekbones like red, and you see Tila's cheekbones red. Like, oh, okay, obviously they like each other.
Mm.
It's at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'll say is this. The reason why I asked that question is because mainly I think you're seeing the point where I was going to go is that if they're not a couple and there has been nothing that said that they're a couple, they're giving that look and smirk to each other, but they have this purely platonic. There has never been anything ever mentioned in the He-Man series that they were romantically involved. They've always been comrades in arms. So if they can give themselves that smirk, why couldn't you afford that same
Mhm.
ideology
Mhm.
to Andrea and Tila? And I'll say this also is that if you watch a lot of animations like I do, I watch a lot of anime, not hentai, because you can get the same smirks in between hentai characters. Like
Mhm. Mhm. There's
hentai.
there's a camaraderie in hentai.
Yeah, so there's camaraderie for sure.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
There's a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, let's move on. No, we got it.
Yeah, we got it. Okay. But like if you watch like stuff like Naruto, let's say hypothetically, right?
Sure.
There's a scene specifically in my mind. Naruto and Sasuke are fighting the Osuki. I think I'm saying that correctly. But they're fighting these gods and whatever. And there's one scene in particular in the Naruto movie where Naruto's fighting a guy, Sasuke hits this Asuki guy from the side. Osuki, not Atsuki, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, the guy people.
Mhm.
He hits him and they both look at each other smirking like, because Naruto fights the guy and the bad guy thinks he has the upper hand. Then here comes Sasuke with a kick to the guy's face, and Naruto's looking at Sasuke smiling, and then Sasuke's looking at him smiling. Are they having a sexual relationship? Are they like fuck
Yes.
buddies on the side? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, okay, sure, yes.
Well,
So-
I mean, sometimes
so-
they don't
so-
have to smile. Remember, they're in sync because
They're in
what
sync.
Endigo was saying, their styles in sync.
Yeah, so but the thing is
Yeah.
in animations, a lot of animation,
Mhm.
and you might just not know about this. And I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. A lot of animations to show when there's combination attacks or two comrades fighting with each other, they give each other smirks and so forth because they
I
show.
know this
Then why
because
couldn't you
it's
afford?
completely different. Like, okay, I'll use this as an
The
example.
way that they animate it is different.
the way that the facial expression was different. Like I'll use this as an example. Goku and Vegeta, when they both fought each other, Majin Vegeta fights Goku.
March Vegeta.
There's a Majin.
Margin Vegeta.
There's a scene where either
They
Goku or
fuse.
Vegeta. No, not
Dick to
yet.
butt.
No.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
Mm.
No.
I remember that scene.
Yeah, that's
There's a
how
scene-
Ed and I
don't-
fuse.
Fusion.
Don't penis heads. Don't
Yeah.
penis heads have to
Yeah,
touch.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's
Ah.
a
what
scene
we call
where one of
docking,
them
we call fusing.
they trip each other, and then there's
Uh-huh.
a slow-mo scene of like
Yeah.
them like looking at each other with a like smirk, a smile, whatever.
Mm.
But it's not in a loving way. It's like I love this fight type thing. Like I want to fight you, like I want to beat you because
Mhm.
that's your thing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
the subtext of the first one when Tila Tequila and the Black chick are looking at each other is much more romantic than when Tila and He-Man are looking at each other, right?
There you
It
go.
seemed
There
like
There you
that.
go.
But
Exactly.
past
Preacher,
past
can you
that,
stop? Can
past-
you stop this shit?
No, he's right. Let him go.
Yeah.
past that
Mm.
part, this whole thing is the Tila show, which
Yeah.
I mean it is. It is.
Wait, yeah, we got
It
you.
is.
But
Yeah.
me and other fans were expecting this to
Mm.
be the He-Man show because we've
Right.
been told, we were promised that this is
Mm.
the He-Man show from
Yeah.
Kevin Smith himself. He even
Yeah.
said on his daughter's life that this is
Yeah.
going to be the He-Man show. And what
Yeah.
we got was the Tila show.
Mhm.
It was a bait and switch. Was it not?
I'm just waiting for Green Tuner to come in. And be like,
I'm waiting for you
Yeah,
guys.
Green
to say
Tuner, you
something.
go ahead. Go ahead.
okay,
I'm waiting for
Yeah,
you guys to
before
say
Oh.
before this the dismantling of that, go ahead.
your nose is so
Oh,
brown
okay.
right now. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Green
Yeah,
Tuner.
I mean, it seemed that
I was just
most of it
expecting
was,
more from Ed Underground after all this
Oh,
time.
there's
I was
more.
like,
It,
There's
it
all
seemed
right.
like it was all focusing on Tila and not really He-Man. You know how they portrayed Tila to be like the one, the daughter of some kind of god or mythical creature, and then at the end, she fucking rises like a phoenix to save the day.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it was
You're
definitely
stating the
Tila
plot
show.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you
But
got
yeah,
it.
it was the Tila show.
Gotcha.
With guest star He-Man.
He-Man.
Basically,
Mm.
yeah.
Featuring He-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
even towards the end, I loved that Skeletor finally got the sword, but I
Mhm.
felt like the big bad that we've all known. He finally gets a sword, and he's not the final boss of the show.
No,
Instead,
No,
it
it's
can't be.
but still, I mean, it's like, come on, he finally gets it, but he's not the big bad of the show. Instead, it's Ultra Instinct Tila and Ultra Ego Evil Lyn.
Mhm.
They're the final bosses in the
Do you
show
think
of
those
He-Man
two?
show.
Do you think they didn't establish or justify those power turns? They just came out of nowhere for you?
Oh, it was out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. I wanted the whole thing. When I walked,
So you think the Tila transformation, they didn't spend enough time to explain that to why that's happening? Like the connection, what she's becoming, why she's becoming that.
I would
Yeah,
say
but
this,
look,
I
if
think-
Kevin Smith is telling us that it's going to be a He-Man show and he doesn't deliver on that, then why even say that? Then just say, hey, I'm gonna turn things around. It's called Masters of the Universe, and I'm focusing on Tila.
yeah,
Now it's called Masters of the Universe, and I'm gonna have He-Man on.
Mhm.
Would have loved that if he says straight from the bat, hey, this is going to be the Tila show. Cool. No, I'm serious. I
Okay.
mean, there's articles,
Yeah.
there's tweets,
Okay,
there's
if we can get
video
past the
of him
semantics
saying
of
this
that.
is the whole He-Man show, and
If we can get past
No.
the semantics of that.
I want to play a quote
Hold
for
on,
Green
hold on.
Tuner.
But hold on, really
Green
quick.
Tuner is directly contradicting himself a couple episodes back.
am I wrong though? He
Sure.
has said
Sure,
Kevin's-
no. That's fine. That's fine.
Uh,
Let's say you do have a point there. Let's say hypothetically you are correct about that. Outside of that, how did you view the show? Because I feel like we're getting hung up on that, and that's a fair point in of itself, right? You saying, hey, I thought we were getting He-Man, we didn't get He-Man, we got more Tila. But the thing is, can you still respect and still like what the Masters of the Universe as is outside of that expectation? And would your expectation, granted, if your expectation had been met with it being the Tila show, would you have still been happy with the content that was produced and the story that was told otherwise?
I would say no, because I walked into this thinking this is going to be about He-Man. I wanted to.
No, disregarding that.
Disregard.
If
no,
you
no,
hadn't
I'm
heard that
saying
from
that.
Kevin Smith.
No,
No,
if
no.
I'm saying that too. I'm
No,
saying
no.
that too. If Kevin Smith didn't say a word, I would have been more happy, but I would rather see it be the He-Man show. Instead, He-Man was the secondary character.
No, but it doesn't matter. If he said, instead of, he didn't say anything about He-Man, he said, hey, I'm doing something about the Masters of the Universe. And that's all.
If that hadn't existed, an alternate reality
Alternate
where
reality.
that didn't happen.
Right.
And they say, hey, we're going to do a Masters of the Universe, from Tila's point of view. How would you perceive the overall quality of the series?
I would like to see more He-Man.
That would have
think
been, but aside from that, how would, just overall quality, what would you say it?
Quality as
Not in what could have
writing?
and shouldn't have been there, but overall, like the writing, the animation, the fights, the design.
The design. I think the design was great. The writing, I think, was not the best. It's better than Cowboy Bebop. I'll say that. What else? That's pretty much it. The design, great.
The direction, the action.
The action was good. It was decent. The direction, not so much.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if
so-
you like the action in an animated series, you like the direction.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies or shows
Yeah,
out there that
Not
have
necessarily.
great
You
action,
don't,
but
just
a
because
terrible
you like some
story.
action scenes doesn't mean that you like the
Yeah.
direction of a show.
But the
Exactly.
direction it's not like directing a film where you can point the camera in many different places.
Mm.
Directing an animated series is it's hand in hand when you're shooting an action sequence. That is the direction. That is like there's no other options. They can't shoot it from a different angle.
That's true, but there's
That's the
also
choice.
there's also some animated videos or movies that I've seen where I like one fight scene, but overall I don't like the series or I don't like the movie.
Yeah, like
Yeah. And that's good direction in that one scene, I
I would
guess.
say Batman.
Okay,
versus
so you're saying
Superman.
direction of the scene, no, not overall. Because I think what
Yeah.
it's referring to is the overall direction of the whole series, series as a whole.
Oh, the overall direction? Not so much. No.
Well, when we
The
say
fight scenes,
direction,
yeah.
are you what are you talking about? Directing, or are you talking about direction, as in like
How do we get from point A to point B?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He means story.
Plot
He means-
progression?
Yeah, plot progression, story, and so forth.
Uh,
Okay, I think that's what he means.
yeah.
Okay.
So
That's what I figured.
no, not really feeling that direction.
No.
Animation's great. Fight scene's
Mm.
great. Direction story wise,
Mm.
not so
Mm.
much. Not so
Mm.
much.
So,
That's it?
The reason why I asked those questions is because
Wait, what? What do you say?
he said, "Is that it?" The
I mean,
reason
there's
why-
more, but God.
Well, the reason why I ask these questions is because, I feel like we get hung up on, certain semantics of Kevin Smith said this, and I had my expectations bashed because of He-Man wasn't more prevalent in the story, which is fair if that's the case. I mean, I didn't get behind a lot. I didn't listen to a lot of what Kevin Smith said about Masters Universe, so that might very much be true. Mainly because I think, like I told you guys before, I feel like a lot of times for people to hype up certain media that comes out, they tell too much, they talk too much. I kind of want to go in there fresh faced, want to see everything that's going on, like kind of when we talked about the Matrix earlier today, Ed. Like the trailers give away so much, and I kind of hate that. That's why I don't like listening to interviews before the movie, because things get inadvertently spoiled for me. So if you remove all that stuff out, at the end of the day, you're left with just the content. And this is the kind of the conversation that we had last time, is that, if you look at the content in of itself, how do you feel about it? Outside of it, looking at outside of He-Man, like the Avengers is not just, especially now with Iron Man being dead, the Avengers was more than just the big three. It was the collective universe as a whole. So when you watch stuff like this, it's very interesting to hear your viewpoint on things of how does the actual universe make you feel? Whether they focus on, arc of a certain character versus another person. Because as I've seen, this is not the final He-Man with Revelations. It might be the end of the arc of Revelations, but with the cliffhanger at the end, there's obviously going to be more He-Man stories told later on, hopefully, if Netflix continues to pursue this. But with all that being said, is that how did the universe in general make you feel, as opposed to worrying about the controversy of lesbian relationships, too much Tila, pushing agendas. Outside of that, how does that make you actually feel? And it seems like you think that the story wasn't that good overall, or the direction. Oh, I'm putting story, plot, direction all under
Yeah.
direction. That you thought that the
Mhm.
direction, the story wasn't good. It was great animation. There were some highlights to it, but overall you weren't impressed. So regardless of how you feel about
No,
Kevin
he liked the
Smith's-
animation. Didn't
Yeah.
you say you liked the
no,
animation?
I said it.
so the animation,
Oh.
fighting, he thought it was good. There were some highlights to it, but overall
Yeah.
the story and the plot he wasn't fond of.
There's some other things like about it too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's more. That's why I said highlights.
Yeah.
There's other things that you like.
Yeah.
But the thing
It's
is,
just overall.
yeah,
not-
overall he was happy with it, but there was things like the plot and the story that she was missing, which is great. That's fine. I just think that in the future when we talk about these things, being able to remove that lens outside of the outside world, because that can really skew up a lot of stuff.
It does.
It shows you what the series is really about, and I think that gives a more clear. That gives a clear, not more clear. Gee, I speak English. It gives you a clear understanding, and give you a clear review of the source material. So now there's actually things that you can fix about the series, more so than just saying He-Man, or more He-Man. There's
He-Man.
too many lesbians in this series. Now something that actually can be fixed, because now we're actually getting to the root of the series.
Well, to kind of go back to what you're saying about the whole Iron Man thing, I agree and disagree with what you're saying about the whole Iron Man thing, about the other characters being there. Those other characters had their own movies or TV shows. It wasn't just solely focused on Iron Man or whatever. In this case, Masters of the Universe, we all know, hey, He-Man. I mean, the majority
Yeah.
don't know any of the other characters' names.
They
Except
don't,
for,
but the show is called Masters of the Universe. It's not called He-Man
yeah,
and the Masters of the Universe, which
Yeah.
is another cartoon.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's-
Masters of the Universe could be the Tila show for right now, and next one they could grab, another character, maybe from Skeletor's point of view, and then they could and then they could just use the blanket term of Masters of the Universe to refer to the setting, the actual universe, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
Because the
to
revelations.
flesh out those stories.
For the big revelation wasn't really and I know Starside, you're patiently waiting. I know you're ready to rip
Yes.
some
No,
assholes
go ahead.
apart. But the revelation wasn't about He-Man. It wasn't He-Man's revelation. It really was,
was
Tila's
Tila's, yeah.
revelation.
Tila's revelation.
Yeah.
And she was the revelation on this whole thing. And the great thing about it is that you didn't know that until the end. Now, granted, it was Tila's show for part 1 and part 2, but be honest.
It's only one part of one thing.
Yeah, it
But-
was.
but
It's
the
only
Tila
part
show.
1 and part 2. It was
But-
Tila.
But what I'm saying is that the revelations that were put out at the second part, there was no way you would have ever guessed that was what the revelation was. Did you in part 1? Did you realize that Tila's mother was what's her name?
Sorceress.
Sorceress Supreme. I forgot. Wow, I don't remember it. But do you know that Tila's mother was a sorceress from part 1?
I honestly thought he was going to be either Tila or, the whatever her name is. What is her name?
Sorceress.
Andrea.
So just call her
The
Sorceress.
first sorceress. I thought it was either going to be that she's related to the first sorceress or Evil Lyn. I really thought it was going to be one of those two.
How would you ever have thought that? They didn't even talk.
I think in the original
really?
He-Man series, it's implied but never fully explained that
Yes.
Tila is the daughter of the sorceress via Man-at-Arms having affection for
For
and keeping
the-
a secret with, like, the sorceress and Man-at-Arms have a connection. That connection for children's television show was never fully explained. Tila's mother was never. And I'm going off memory. I don't think she was fully addressed. And the idea from a lot of fans was that, yes, that connection exists, that she's Tila's mother. But the revelations, like I said, I talked about the first time we talked about this, it's a pretty big deal. Tila's, of all the characters who have, like, when it comes to revelations, she has the most to be revealed, like her mother, her best friend, the world around her. Of all the characters, she has the most to gain from that. So it made sense for her to be the focus. Like, if I were to watch, or if I were to write a He-Man series and re-examine some of these characters, she's the one that pops up the most, like, based on what is set up. like you said, like I said before, fans have to be wondering what happens when she finds out about X, Y, and Z. So this is like the most
That's
obvious
fine.
thing.
That's fine.
So I mean, when you go about this, there's no other route than to say, all right, we have to address the Tila story. I mean, you could talk about Man-at-Arms, their background, but He-Man, how much more can you talk about He-Man and what's to be left? Let me turn it on you at Underground. What's to be left to talk about He-Man that wasn't addressed in this series?
There could
with
be so
Prince
much
Adam.
more.
Also,
Go ahead.
so, you know, give it
Enlighten us.
give it to the pansy over there, green tuner as well. I mean, little bitch.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I mean, look,
I was gonna
if
say
we're
something, go
dead
ahead.
honest, again, in my moment of clarity, I hated the show.
Nut clarity.
Post-nut clarity.
Post-nut clarity.
My post-nut clarity, I
Yeah.
hated the show. It was
Yeah.
boring. The same, remember how I told you the first time, maybe in the previous one I tried to get into it?
Yeah.
I honestly had to slug through it. It just didn't
1.5
click with
times
me.
speed, my friend.
Yeah.
I know. It was the
Wow.
most
It is your best
boring
friend
thing.
at times.
The action didn't really, and it's not because of whatever promises were made. It's just I couldn't click with it. I really honestly
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
didn't like the show at all.
That's
I
fine.
found it very boring, very cliche. Like you said, a bunch of useless narration.
Mhm.
I just found it boring overall.
Yeah,
Hey, that's
I
fine.
could agree with a lot of that.
Yeah, something wrong with that.
Do you guys know some of the dialogue? Well, I sent you some of the dialogue from the part 2.
Oh my god, is that what you were sending?
No,
Is
no,
that-
no, no.
Wait, that was
I was
That was
hoping
the
it was more
dialogue.
than that.
That was the
Yeah, but
dialogue
it's
from the part
irrelevant.
2.
Like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's Kevin
But
Smith. He always
that-
likes sneaking those type of things in.
Yeah, Ed doesn't know these things, but
Yeah,
also
if you
you-
watch
things.
Kevin Smith long enough, you'll see a
Yeah.
pattern.
Yeah, I see some patterns, but
But no, I do agree with Creamcast in the sense that it seems that the only issue that it had was basically that he heard through the grapevine the whole
Mhm.
thing about He-Man and the lesbian scenes or whatever,
Mhm.
and then it just seeped into the back of his mind, and it kind of ruined the experience for him.
Mhm.
Because again, Ed, like I'm saying,
Like,
the show's called Masters of the Universe. It's not called He-Man. And there literally, if you put He-Man in the Masters of the Universe or whatever, or He-Man, there is already a He-Man show in there that's for kids. That's like a 3D, but the show says He-Man.
yeah, it does. It also
He-Man.
says in
Yes.
the info that this is focusing on He-Man. It says that in the dialogue too.
That's fine. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The name of the show is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The one that you just saw was called Masters of the Universe Revelation. It wasn't called He-Man. They're basically highlighting the universe of characters that they have.
Yeah,
But-
I'm fine with like them fleshing out the other characters. My thing is
Just from here on out, I think you honestly need to stop watching YouTube opinion.
And we talked
videos
about this
about
in
things.
we
here's the
talked about
thing.
this in
I'm not
Cowboy
watching
Bebop too.
Uh,
Well, whatever
YouTube
you're getting your
peoples or whatever.
information.
All right,
It is
let's not go down this road again. I mean,
well,
we
no,
know.
hold on. I'm not going down the road.
Okay,
Here's the
go ahead.
thing: the most recent things we've watched have been Netflix shows.
Mhm.
Cowboy Bebop. What is this? He-Man.
Mhm.
I'm seeing a pattern here in Netflix. It's not that I'm looking for these things, it's that these things are in there. I mean, if it's in the Matrix, I'm going to say something about the Matrix too. I'm hoping it's not, but I think it will be because reasons. But
And why would you? Did you watch a video or an
the
opinion
Matrix?
piece or something about the Matrix?
no.
No. A little
Opinion
sus.
piece? I've been
Little
watching the
sus.
trailers of it.
But the
If
thing,
it's in there.
but the thing is I think as we talked before, and I want to get this past this.
Yeah, let's
whole
get
point.
this train moving.
Well,
It's
sorry,
already
so
salted, and we're
the
boring our
thing,
listeners.
The main thing for me is that it wasn't focused on He-Man. If it was focused on
Okay, that's enough. Because
Hold on.
If that's your main thing, we've completely moved on
yeah,
past
we already
that.
moved on from
I
that.
think
I'm sorry. I
fairly
love you,
safely.
Ed, but
Fine.
we are going back to the same well, and we
Right.
can't keep doing this every show.
And you've already said that it's fine. Like the animation was good.
Yeah, it seems like you were okay with
complimented
everything
several
except
things
for
about
no
it.
He-Man. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wait, what?
So, which
Okay.
we talk about the no He-Man thing. I think that's ridiculous. He-Man was in this more than
Oh, come
more.
on.
you could
More?
possibly want. He's a very simple character.
He was
There's not
dead. He came back later.
But the thing
Okay.
is- so
Let's. Okay. I don't know.
Let's
You
do
saw
it.
the whole
Am I
series.
wrong?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. He-Man
good.
was in every episode, as we already discussed.
He was dead.
They talked about flashback episodes of He-Man in almost every episode. The whole purpose of where they were going and trying to do everything they were trying to do was 100% about He-Man. It was about nothing else. Tilo at first was like, "Hey, fuck Adam, fuck He-Man. I'm living my best life with my black girlfriend, and I'm about to I'm about to
My
live
POC
my best."
girlfriend.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
It's Netflix after all.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the whole thing about He-Man. At the end of the day, she chose. At episode 2, they were like, "Hey, you need to, Adam, he messed up, blah blah blah." She didn't forgive him, but she's like, "Hey, I understand that this is bigger than me. We need to bring Prince Adam back. We need to bring He-Man back." And then everything after that has been about He-Man. He-Man got brought back to life. Same with Oracle. Got brought back to life. He-Man got
that's
stabbed. He got stabbed, and then she gained powers of. She started to remember, regain the powers of the sorceress, and then was able to heal He-Man. The one thing I thought you were, or was, she healed He-Man. The one thing I thought anybody was going to say anything about was Ed saying that she was like Rey. Because she started gaining powers out of that ass. She started being able to
Oh, I already
do
thought about
chants.
that. I just haven't said it.
You haven't said
So
it.
hold
but
on.
I wasn't there yet.
That would have been a great point to bring up, except
You did.
No, I wasn't
pouncing
there
on
yet.
the damn He-Man.
I
But
gave,
no,
I
no,
gave
again.
a little test of it when I said Ultra Instinct Tila. I gave a little bit of that. I
No,
wasn't
that's
there
not,
yet.
that's not the same thing. Not the same thing.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Though.
No.
Go ahead.
You,
Well, let him
you had
get
your
there.
moment.
For God's sake, we'll let him get there.
No, let it
or just
continue.
get there.
The thing is, the problem is that you did not say that point. You focus on the He-Man shit about, oh my goodness, I'm so hurt by Kevin Smith not telling me the truth about He-Man. You cried about that when you could have got straight to the point and said, hey, because the thing is, we've already had this argument. And I mean, we've already, in my mind, destroyed you on your viewpoints on that.
Destroyed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, destroyed.
Still
Destroyed.
That's right.
Because
Anally.
Anally.
Yeah.
Still here.
You've been
But the
prolapsed.
thing is, instead of bringing up a new argument, I would have been very valid. In
I'm
saying,
not done. I'm not done.
No, we're done. We're gonna move on from this conversation.
That's it.
But the
No, I
thing
was
is
going to
that
talk about Evil Lynn. I was going to talk about Tila. How
you didn't, but you focused on.
I wasn't
You're still
done.
hurt.
You
were still-
didn't.
you
Ed,
were still
you
hurt
had
about.
fucking 20 minutes
You were
to
still
bring
hurt.
this up.
We've been on the podcast for an hour to 20. I'll say half of that has been maybe 30 minutes of that. F at most was about no, because even talking about my shoe corner was only like 20 minutes and everything else all together. So you had 40, 50 minutes to talk about shit, and you chose not to. So I'm bringing up the points for you as
Yes,
points
I
of
was
discussion. So the one thing, she started coming with Ray light powers.
That
This
is
woman,
true. I didn't even notice
she-
that.
she
started
was-
healing him.
she was healing like Hookazam, and then healing him. She was teleporting niggas. I mean, sorry. he made me feel some type of way. Y'all better believe
I
that.
love it.
Y'all better. You gotta start making me feel some type of way now. She's teleporting folks left and right. Hookazam, hit the kazoo. Yeah, I'm about to get rid of you. And she's disappearing.
That is true.
folks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't bring that up. Evil Lynn
Wasn't done.
was
Go
the
ahead.
most. Evil Lynn, bringing her as the bad guy, she took no effort to manipulate. Because Man at Arms was the Man at Arms that was just like, yeah, you know what? What if he just no? Was it Man at Arms that said that?
Man at Arms tried to put the idea in her head. Yeah.
She's like,
And
you
the
know what?
Beast.
Yeah, and the Beast. But she was like, like, hey, what if you had the power? She's like, you know what? You right, Skeletor. Let's about to have sex. Let me grab your sword.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Oh,
Grab the sword, grabs the sword instead, and like boom, instantly betrays him. That was kind of weak sauce. It's 22 minutes. I understand why they can't expand that out longer. That's why I was saying about the 1 hour thing. They could have maybe did a little bit deeper of how she tricked him. But she's literally like, hey, let's have sex. He's like, cool. She's like, I can't have sex with you full power because you're gonna tear my ass up. He was like, bet. So he went from big dick energy to Skeletor dick energy. She gets the sword. Now she has. I have.
Do you
the
think
power.
his dick is made of bones?
I think
No.
it can't be because
Just
the
his
rest of
face.
the body, yeah, just his face. I think so. I was like,
Oh, okay.
I thought about this long and hard.
Because then it literally be a boner. Then.
Yeah, it would literally be a bonus.
Yeah.
But
These are the things I think about it.
The implication also is that they've had sex before.
yes, so they've had plenty of sex. But the thing
Yeah.
is that what she and then Ed, I remember in the
Implication.
first episode, in episode 13, you brought up that somebody, you said, oh, it's been rumors that one of the female characters.
Yes, I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, one of the female characters had.
And guess
once
who it
said-
was?
I have the exact quote.
Yeah.
And guess who it was?
What was the exact quote, Darkseid?
He said, quote, I would like to hear from you guys when she picks up the sword and says, I have the power. He's referring to Andrea. He said,
yes.
Andrea.
I said I thought it was
Objection.
Andrea.
I'd like
no,
that
you
stricken
said it
from
was
the
I said
record.
it was no. I said I thought
I'd
it
like
could be
that
Andrea.
stricken from the record.
No.
Too damning information, too much damn. But the
Exactly.
thing, the person who said it was a
Was
person.
Tila?
Wasn't Tila.
Wasn't Tila, dude?
Tila
was
said I had the
Evil Lyn.
power.
It was Evil Lyn, moron.
No, Tila
She also
did
said
say
it too.
She
When she was
said
in
it,
that,
but then she
that
said
pool
no.
thing at the
But
bottom.
She said, we have the power.
No, she said no. First she
Come
says
on. I have. We
she
have.
said no. She
Tomato.
first-
Tomato.
First she did say I have the power, and then she's like, no, we have the power. But the only person that was holding the sword, that said it, who actually turned it to she.
No, there's three people.
She-
Was
ma'am.
Evil Lyn.
Was Evil Lyn. So
Mhm.
in that regard, yes, technically you are right. A woman did say that, but the thing is, it was pivotal to the story of the betrayal, or 2 women. Fine, 2 women said it. I don't count Tila saying that because she was turning to the sorceress, and she had all the power coming
Nice
through her.
haircut too.
But when you said it that time, you were saying that this series is going to lead down the road where they're trying to replace He-Man and bring in this. You were dead set on Andrea as this character that, oh, that's why she's there. She's going to become the He-Man character.
Possibly,
and you
yeah.
literally, I know you were dead set on that. That was your theory. You knew
Possibly,
it for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. And you
Yeah,
were
so
dead
it,
wrong.
It wasn't. It wasn't Andrea. It was Tila, basically.
But no. What
Yeah,
you-
but she's not the permanent. She never replaced He-Man.
she didn't replace him at all. The
She
whole
was a
point-
villain the whole time.
I
the whole
said
point-
Tila.
No, Tila didn't say that as
Not
if she was
Tila.
going. Tila wasn't taking the power to become He-Man. She was given the power of the sorceress. She had replaced the sorceress. Powers channeling through her. She was just saying the old words, and that's all she was saying. But then she realized that, hey, instead of the power being the conduit of the power, I can share this power with everybody else. I'm not bound to Castle Grayskull. I can take this power and share it with everybody. Therefore, we have the power. So
Because she's Ray. Because she's Ray, basically.
she became a Ray. Now that would have been a genuine thing to bring up, but you didn't.
You didn't. You had to wait for Creamcast to bring it up.
I
No,
know.
I was going to say something like that.
You were,
But you didn't.
You waited for Daddy to say.
Well,
it, and
okay,
I
hold
said
on. What are
I
you
know.
holding back on? Well, say it now. What are you holding back on? Go
Lay it
ahead.
all on.
No, it's
Enlighten
not-
us.
Well,
Enlighten
he
us.
basically kind of said it already.
No. Don't
No.
go back over stuff we already talked about. What you've been holding back on.
You said
Come
there's
out
a
and
lot. You
say
said
it.
there was a few things.
There's a lot.
So
Yeah. go
one
ahead.
thing I brought up was a Ray thing. What else have you brought up?
That she's
Yeah, go ahead.
overpowered. They basically
That's
had
Ray.
the final. Yeah,
That's
I
the Ray
said
thing.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
move
I was
on.
gonna
Move
say-
on from the Ray thing. What's your next thing? You said there was more.
It seemed like what's her name, Tila, was kind of I like the progression that Evil Lyn had to get the power, but Tila's was just kind of like sped up a little bit. If that makes any sense.
She was
Yeah.
handed the power.
Wait,
I guess you'll say that.
Eva Lynn literally all she did was
Yeah.
told Skeletor, "Hey,
Yeah.
let's have sex. I
And
can't
took the
do
power.
I can't do you while you're powered up. Take the power away." And he was like, "Cool." She takes the sword literally from his hand as if like, "Hey, I'm gonna put the sword over here." It says,
Mhm.
"Ha ha, got you. Now I have the sword." And then even Skeletor is like, "Oh shit!" And then she's like, "I have the power." And that's all she did. She didn't have like some deep story progression and how she got the power. It was very simple.
She
And
didn't have a
T-
deep
they
story
connected
progression.
Tila with her mother. They connected Tila with her mother. So she has. You could say there's an easier route to connect that power change for Tila than there is for Evil Lyn. Evil Lyn,
But Tila
she just
broke.
out of nowhere.
Tila broke the laws or whatever that you have to stay in this gray skull forever. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, she breaks that law, and now she has the ultimate power, and then can give it to anyone she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just overpowered. She's basically Ray Skywalker, Ray Palpatine, or whatever.
But she's the sorceress. The sorceress has always been the most powerful character in the series.
Not prior to her though. The other ones couldn't leave the castle.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the
she's
other one couldn't. The
She
other
can
one
leave
couldn't
now.
leave the castle, but she was still the most powerful
the
being on
first ever
Eternia.
to leave the castle. She broke the rules. Apparently, you can't break that rule. You have to stay in this castle for
Sure.
the rest
No,
of
she didn't break
your
the
life.
rule. It wasn't, but they explained it. It's not her.
She
breaking the
changed
rule.
it somehow.
She redefined the rule.
Redefined it.
So she's like, you know, you don't have to define the rule as she's like, if she gave the power to everybody, therefore she's no longer bound to Castle Grayskull, and then she
Right.
shared,
That was it.
that's why she shared the power in the first place, because if she only had the power to give it to the chosen champion, then she has to channel that power to that one person, so she's stuck in Castle Grayskull. But
Right.
since she gave the power out to the rest of Eternia, she's able to move around.
How exactly did she give her power?
And
to
she
the rest of
draws
Eternia?
that power back from the people too.
Yeah, the whole remember when after
When she said we have the power,
yeah, when
she was talking to all the Eternian people.
Yeah, remember remember when the Sword of Power was first destroyed, magic was gone from Eternia. Like all the power was gone. So that's how she was able to give the power out. Now that the power is being channeled through her again, instead of having the power just being channeled through her to the champion, she's dispersed the power out. Now we have the power, and she gave the power magic back to Eternia.
No, when the power swords merged back together to the robot guy,
Robot guy.
I forgot his name. There was a robot that merged both swords together.
Yeah, it's about the forge.
Oh, that's in part
Yeah.
one. I don't remember
That's when magic came back.
Well, she gave him more power. How about that?
She didn't get this ultra instinct power until the end last episode.
that. Well, no, that power is always out there. They talked about the celestial vortex or peak where there's some alignment happening, where there's all this.
Oh, that's
power.
what made Evil Lyn more powerful.
Right. So there's an influx of energy. It just needed to be channeled by somebody, and everyone was preparing to be that source to channel the power. But she was there. There's Tila. No, Tila got it the last time.
Yeah,
That's why
Tila's-
she's more powerful than the previous sorceress. They
even-
also talked about this alignment or whatever was happening.
Wait,
Even though now we have
Tila
other
didn't get
sorcerers.
that.
Tila did.
No,
Tila did.
Evil Lyn got it.
No, Evil Lyn was also. She was talking about the same thing. Skeletor and her were talking about the same thing, but the moment it happened, it was Tila. Tila was able to do it.
I don't remember
'Cause
that
remember
part.
they said that
About Tila getting
because
it.
remember they were saying
She does.
if Evil Lyn did it, it would kill her.
Yeah.
They would say if Evil Lyn tried to use that power, it would kill her. But she was gonna kill everybody. She was gonna wipe
She was going to wipe out the universe.
the
Yeah.
universe
Yeah.
with it.
All life.
But then she said she can't handle it. But the only person that could handle it was Tila because she's this ancient line of sorceress that could be able to handle that.
I don't know. I recall not Tila. I recall Evil Lyn being in that in Castle Grayskull where that beam of light was in the middle. I recall her being in the middle of that once the alignment happened. She was in the middle of that, and she gained.
No,
this
I don't
power.
think the alignment happened. I think they were all using that to look at the universe. Skeletor also was in there.
He was in there, but
You
he-
mean when the
Skeletor
gears
was in
were
there,
like moving
but-
on top of her?
Yeah, when that happened.
That scene?
Yeah, now okay, thank you. Now I remember when that happened. That top
welcome,
of the
man.
castle. Thank you. The top of
love
the
you.
castle blew up. I love you too. Not like that. The top of the castle blew up, and they had this Dragon Ball Z fight in space. That's
Where was
when Evil Lyn-
this?
This was the end.
Who was she fighting in
He was
space?
fighting-
I don't remember the fight, but I remember like
Yeah.
the
This
way
is
she was floating and
after
they
what,
have this
though?
weird like circle mechanical thing on their ceiling.
Yeah, it blew up.
Yeah, that was
once the
before.
alignment happened.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Tila's
don't know
the
if that's right,
source,
I'm just
the
saying the
channel
scene.
of the power. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. He's out of his chronology is out of order on what happens where.
Well,
The
this
Tila
episode
thing
did, right?
happens when Tila attains the power. She's drawing it from that celestial thing. The others were not. They were just drawing power. She's directly drawing it. There's a lot of like references to you. Anyone could draw the power. He-Man draws the power without the sword, but you see the results. He becomes like the Hulk. She can draw the power. She has access to it. They all have access to it. It's just the results are different. She was just more inclined because of her background, her mother. She's a sorceress in her bloodline. 1,000 factors. She was better suited for that moment. That was the outcome.
Yeah, she was better suited. So.
Yeah, and I think they took the time to set that up. They didn't come out of left field.
You gotta remember
Evil Lyn, I think was out of left field because I still don't understand what her what her importance is. Like, I
Don't
mean, when they
get it
showed
either.
her
Evil
background.
Lynn, the real reason why Evil Lynn, I mean, they showed her background.
Yeah, it was quick
It
too.
was quick, and you know, it was just more about the abuse and slavery that she was put under and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But Evil Lynn was kind of the left field. But you know, like we were saying before, this is a 22-minute episode. There's literally 10 episodes for a whole series. Like, and giving context to things that we never had context before. So they can only do very limited things. And I'm sure Kevin Smith in his mind was thinking, there's probably not going to be anything after, maybe when he was first initially doing this, that he didn't see this happening more past part 2. Even though we see that there is this new sorceress, another sorceress now, with the
She's not a sorceress. She's just that AI, but you see Hordak's symbol. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying she has a symbol.
Talking about more Motherboard. That's a new character.
Motherboard.
But she had the
But
symbol,
yeah, that's just implying. Yeah, it's implying Hordak, which implies She-Ra. So,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I hope there's more.
I hope there's more too, because then they can go to another arc and now see He-Man, Teela, and all these other people really.
Well, you go into Revelations. Talk about Revelations. She-Ra's He-Man's twin sister.
He-Man? Are you sure we're gonna see He-Man from now on?
I can't make any promises.
I think after
promises,
Exactly.
Probably after all this, now that the fans have spoken, probably.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fans. I think honestly, it's just people. As I said before, and I still stick to what I said. I think the people who cried about this heavily, especially online, this really resonates with what Darkseid has said before, and I think Green Tuner had chimed in as well, that the people who complain about stuff like this are people who want to hear their voices heard. They want to review things. They want people to hear what they're saying because they're disgruntled about stuff. The people who are happy about it, a lot of times, like we talked about before, I've never reviewed anything. I think nobody here, for the most part, has never reviewed anything on Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb. I review stuff on Steam, but most of the time it was positive because I was just super excited about it. But very rare. I've 20, my 30 some plus years of life, I rarely review stuff, and just in general. So it's just the people who are really upset about this.
Well,
when you get past not in political, but like the issues of Kevin Smith, political, gender issues, sexual orientation issues. Once you remove past that, you're left with as you said, Ed, a very relatively decent story. I assumed as well, a very decent story. It was decent overall. I'm not saying this is groundbreaking whatsoever. It was a decent story. It was, a nice trip of the past. He-Man comes up to be relevant for people like us, not rated Y. I think the He-Man that's out now is rated G or something like that. So that's not for us. This is an adult version of He-Man that we get to see that's more nostalgic for people our age. And I think it was a good trip. I think Kevin Smith did a great job. And I think once you get past all the bullshit of people trying to bring up issues that really are not prevalent in the
don't exist. Yeah.
Don't exist and not prevalent and don't exist. I think at the end of the day, you're left with a decent story that scratches that nostalgia itch of what if He-Man was made today. And that was it. So profound.
Man, I think you will see. I think you see what you want to see at the end of the day.
Heck no.
If Ed is, if you're looking for a lesbian relationship, I'm sure you can see it. If you're looking for like a gay relationship, I'm sure you'll see it if you want to. It's not there at the end of the day.
Subconscious thing, though.
It's definitely a subconscious thing with him, but like, it is what it is. I'm just saying, we all saw the same thing. I could say there's no lesbian relationship at all. There was no lesbian relationship.
Right?
There's not even an implication. At the end, there's a very specific. There's a scene at the end of the episode, the very last episode, which definitely reaffirms that He-Man and Teela are a romantically connected couple. Very clearly. Not just implied. Implied would mean like a wink and a nod. This is like a romantic, touching scene between the two of them that did not happen with the other two characters. That was a reach. That doesn't exist. This is very much not implied. It is specifically that. So that was one thing. He-Man getting replaced as a female character. Female character was your initial and the YouTube's initial fear. that another character would have the power because you can't have that. He-Man, there's a great scene in the last episode where that sword's flying through the air and it's He-Man, Adam, who grabs it and he says, I have the power. I love that scene.
That was a good scene.
That was a great scene.
That was a
And
good scene,
I don't know if you were happy or sad in that moment because it pretty much destroyed your whole outlook.
I was happy about that. And I was hoping, okay, is he would actually fight Evil Lynn? Is he would actually be the main character towards the end? And that didn't happen.
He is the main character still. The series is still about He-Man.
It's
He-Man
a
is
Tila
not
show.
swept under the rug. Well,
No, he's not.
yes, we talked
he's a
about
side
this. It is
character.
the Tila show because it's called Masters of the Universe Revelations. The Revelations are about her. You can have a series that is connected to the main series that focuses on another character. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Why not just call it Tila Masters of the Universe, or why not?
No,
just, like,
because
say,
this
hey,
this is Master of the Universe Revelations.
Masters
The
of
next
the
one could be
Universe,
called
yeah.
Master of the Universe something else. You're talking about all the Masters of the Universe. They're all getting a little bit of screen time. They're all getting a little bit of attention. I think they did a good job in showing you a
That's-
lot of these characters.
They're using it in the sense that somebody uses like Final Fantasy or Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You're just basing your story in that universe, grabbing different characters. Doesn't necessarily have to follow the same character every time.
well, no,
Yeah.
they're using side characters, stuff like that, but their main focus is always one character. When you think about Final Fantasy, the first
It doesn't
people-
have to be. It doesn't have to be main focus one character.
But name
You
another-
could tell a side story where you're focusing on another character. Why can't you? And
You
it's still
can,
connected
but
to the main story.
You can, but the people behind those stories would say like, "Hey, this is going to be a side story with the focus on, I don't know, Vegeta or
But you see,
Tifa or something like that."
sure,
When
but at the
When you look at
beginning,
Final Fantasy, your first
Uh-huh.
thought is Cloud and Sephiroth. You think about Dragon Ball Z.
No, it's not. no, it's not. Final Fantasy's first thought is not Cloud and
I'm thinking about
Sephiroth.
Final Fantasy 7.
Sure.
There you
You
go.
take
You
one.
said
You take,
seven.
yeah, 7.
Yeah.
You take one of the series.
Mhm.
It's going to be focused on one character, and everyone else is a
Mhm.
side character. You'll
Mhm.
have like stories about these characters, but the main
Mhm.
focus at the end is always going to be the main character.
Okay, what about Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus?
I was just about to say.
I was about
literally about
that,
to say
that is a bad road for you to go on. We can go down Metal Gear Solid 2 or Resident Evil. You don't need the main characters to explore that series. You can talk about other characters and
In
have
these
money
other
games.
series you're talking about, the people who create those series always say, "Hey, the focus is going to be on so and so or this person." They're not going to say, "Hey, it's going to be focused on Cloud and it's all about Tifa," or something like that.
Okay, I thought we
Right.
moved past this
That-
point.
we're
We said
definitely
you
moving
had to
past that
disregard the
topic,
Kevin
'cause that's
Smith
all you
thing.
got.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because how that
it's
can be
kind of
is like
weekend.
how that can be. It is a weak argument because how
How?
can Kevin Smith talk about a series where he has to keep the story a secret without revealing it to people, and all people are going to know, all they know coming into it is He-Man's in it and the characters are in it. Why would he spoil his own series by saying, "Yeah, it's about He-Man. It's He-Man," and he's not wrong. Technically, you took him to court. You'd be like, "Yeah, it's about He-Man." At the beginning of the series, it's the He-Man you know, the He-Man, Sorceress, Master at Arms, Orko fighting Skeletor. At the end of Masters of the Universe Revelations, it's He-Man, Sorceress, Man at Arms, and Orko still fighting Skeletor. Nothing has changed. The characters have been repositioned in the archetypes that they've been using since the beginning.
And that's good. They're telling the story of the
Creamcast, are
side
you
character.
checked out again?
What? I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, the stare on his face.
They're telling the
Black
stories of
stare.
the side characters.
I'm not gonna lie. I was daydreaming. I don't know what I was thinking about just now, but I was gone.
You have my expression in the sneaker corners.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was thinking again one of those fake glasses where my eyes are open
Yeah.
whenever you start the sneaker corner. So I can just,
you know what? The secret corner is not for you, buddy. That's what
hey, I
it is.
love that corner.
Yeah, I bet you do love that
Mm.
corner.
All right,
Little bitch.
all right.
I'll use this. I love
Oh
Dragon
shit,
Ball.
bro. Okay.
What? Hold
Green
on,
Tuner,
hold on.
why did you get me out of my sweet corner?
I know. All right, so let's move
Hold
on.
on,
Let's
hold
go
on,
into
hold on.
I'll say this.
ratings.
Let it
I
finish.
hold on. I love Dragon Ball Z, but when you think about Dragon Ball Z, the
You've
first
already
person-
said this before
I know.
on the
Hold on,
last
hold on.
one.
Yes.
Even
I
remember.
haven't said this.
When you say
I-
Dragon Ball, you think Goku.
Okay,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
Vegeta.
Hold on.
You
And we
think
said-
Goku.
we said
Yes, I know
Shenron
where you're
in
going.
Dragon Balls.
Hold
I
on.
love
Yeah,
Dragon
you
Balls.
said that.
We
You
said the
that.
dragon.
You said
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you said that. But they also
You said you want to
they-
rub those balls against your forehead.
I've never said that.
Pretty sure you did.
They focus on the other
The
characters.
dragon right on your chin.
They focus on the other characters. They focus on Piccolo, Vegeta, Krillin, all the other characters that you've known to grow and love.
And
At the end of the day,
my friend,
I hate it sometimes, but it's the Goku
you
show.
said this
But
the
I'm just
exact
saying.
thing verbatim last time.
Yes, I did.
8 out of
Okay,
10.
good.
8 out of 10. Moving on.
All right, let's move on to the
But-
star
but
ratings.
I'll say this. Let me finish this. You said that, yes. But the thing is what we also brought up is that Dragon Ball Z in and of itself is super formulaic. We know that in every episode, in every battle, for the most part, Goku has been present for that fight. He has been present for that every single time. And it's formulaic and it's boring. That's why Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super is boring. It's not great. It's not a great series. And if you ask anybody what has been the best Dragon Ball series thus far, they're gonna say either Z or regular Dragon Ball. Those are only two people bring up. No one
Regular.
no one brings up GT.
I'll say Z.
GT, baby.
Okay, go fuck yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
GT, no one says Super because you know why? Because they're boring. We've gotten if you get the same old shit every single time, you're just gonna get boring because now you know the formula. But when you talk about other animes, let's say, like, good example, Hunter x Hunter, right? Hunter x Hunter, great anime series. It changes who's the bad guy, who wins, who loses, who's the main character per se. It changes it up, and it's very exciting. That's why it's such a great series. Think of Full Metal Alchemist. Great series. Why is it Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood one of the greatest animes? Rated as one of the greatest animes of all time? Because it's different. Dragon Ball Z, yes, it's one of the greatest animes of all time. But that's just for its run. After that, it's gotten boring. So for He-Man and so forth, yes, you want to see He-Man be the winner. You want to see He-Man with his big old sword. But the thing is, as you get older and you get more mature, people want to see real storylines. People don't always want to see the same old thing and boring stuff. So the thing is that give Kevin Smith the ability to write a complete storyline. It doesn't have to be He-Man for 80 episodes and then the other side characters, they get episode here, episode there. Like, give people the creative right to be able to expand the storyline. Darkseid brought up a great point. Metal Gear Solid. A lot of people said that Metal Gear Solid would not survive without Solid Snake. And there's been plenty of Metal Gears that don't have Solid Snake in them and still great entries. Or Solid Snake maybe not be the key character in
Spinoffs.
But yeah, Raiden was. Some people hated Raiden at first, but Raiden afterwards was great. Then you start getting into Big Boss territory, Revolver Onslaught. It tells a complete story of all these other characters. Even though Solid Snake is the main one, but there's other side characters that can come in and be great additions to that. So it's just like, I feel like you have to get off this dangerous boat. And I feel like it's a speedboat on 100 trying to go to the shore. You're about to crash into a wall talking about this, He-Man has to be on every episode, he has to be the center, when good storytelling doesn't have to have that one character be the center of everything. You can have interweaving stories, and with Tila being in the story and being a part of it for 10 episodes, and now we can switch to something else, that's great. I think I just, this whole notion of He-Man, I think it's just gotten old. So I'm tired of He-Man. I'm tired of having this argument. I'm just I'm beyond past this conversation. Let's talk about something else.
All right, scores.
Scores. Oh, fuck yeah.
What are we gonna give them?
I give
Ed?
it. Oh shit. No, give it to Ed. Give it to Ed.
Right.
Yeah,
Ed?
start
I
from the
will
bottom.
give it a. Oh, we're starting from the bottom. Darkseid, you can go first.
No, because you're gonna give the worst score by far.
Worst score?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. You
All
guys
right,
go
ahead.
first.
Go ahead.
Go first.
Go first.
Go first. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Fine.
Go first.
Fine.
All right, I'll give it a 4.
Ed Underground, go.
Go ahead.
Green Turner gave it a 4.
A 4.
I would give it a 7.
Dark Side.
Oh, I said 8 already.
8. Okay.
I'm giving it a 5.
You didn't give it the lowest score,
No,
you liar.
He's
I told you I liked it more than no. I'm like I said before. I even said on my channel I liked it more.
Well, why didn't you just come out like that's? Never mind.
You gave
because I didn't want to.
Cowboy Bebop 2.5 if I remember last time,
And I
and
gave
a
it a
4 if because of Jet. So
Yeah.
ultimately, you gave it a 2.5. One character should not change, shouldn't boost up the entire score of a show. It should be based off everything, and it was a 2.5. So the fact that you're going to give He-Man a 5 after all the shit you've given it, I feel like I've been bamboozled. I'm not gonna lie.
Bamboozled.
Yeah, because for someone
5
who's
is mediocre.
mm,
Is it
for
not?
somebody, I say the 7. 7 for me is good. It's good.
That's fine.
5 is
I give it a
average.
5.
Okay, well, hey, that's your
In my eyes, it's a mediocre average show. So
just a whole bunch of
All
lesbian,
right.
a whole bunch of lesbian porn.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, my head hurts so bad.
If only that prediction from whoever said last time that He-Man was going to be a black transsexual, my score would have really gone up.
Oh my goodness, I mean that would have been really hot show. So let's move on from He-Man because I think at this point we've beaten this
Yes.
topic to death, and I feel bad for our listeners because our listeners have to listen to this shit in the car or wherever, and they're gonna be like. I mean, the good thing about this is that they can just probably drive and just do like me and Darkseid did, just turn off our brains.
Yeah,
Even
and just go
Green
into
Tuner.
autopilot.
Yeah, even Green Tuner. We just go into autopilot and just be like, oh shit, the whole episode's over. Wait, I got nothing of value from it. Awesome.
Thank you to our listeners.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the real MVPs.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Yeah, please. All right, so another thing we were talking about before, Halo. So Halo came out.
Darkseid, get off your damn phone.
No, this is more relevant than what's going on.
We're talking about Halo now.
Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
It's still more relevant.
Oh,
Wow.
TikTok more relevant now. Just kidding.
You
All
wanted
right.
to talk about it, so
All right, Halo.
so
Wait,
yes.
what was the controversy?
I don't know. I think one thing I saw was
Somebody said controversy.
I remember one thing I saw. Well, look, I think it was Darkseid had some controversy.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen is that a lot of fans have issues with the game's release, and the Reddit board for Halo got so heated and apparently toxic that the official mods turned it off. Yeah, and it just became a big news story. So that's as far as I know. I haven't played it. I know Ed Underground's been playing it, but there seems to be some anger.
Toxic in what sense? Now I want to read the board.
Well, one thing
I know. I was trying to find the board comments, and I couldn't find them.
Well, one thing that
I'm sure they're out there.
there were
people were upset
plenty
about
of slurs
is that
thrown around.
Oh yeah.
you can't like for the campaign, you can't replay missions within the
Missions.
campaign.
Mhm.
So like you play it one time and that's kind of it. Like you played the campaign, you can't go back and replay your favorite mission because now Halo's more open world.
they're taking
world.
like the Zelda approach from how I'm looking at it. You know how Zelda Breath of the Wild rather, how you go to a certain area on your own. It's all open world and you play it and then it's done. You got the item or whatever. You can't go back because you completed it. So I think they're taking that approach. But I did read recently that they're adding later the replay option to play that mission again.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
same thing with co-op.
Well, I think with that, I think the big problem is that expectations. Like when you deal with an FPS or any type of shooter in the past, it has always been something where you can play mission by mission, and after you beat it, you can always go back, replay it, get rewards, and a lot of times what people use those missions to test out like game breaking bugs, how to get out of bounds, do stuff like that. The big thing for that is we've never really had that with Halo, where it's an open world concept where you play it one time and that's that. Additionally, with the aspect of co-op campaigns, that's something that a lot of people have asked for. Has been really relevant in past Halos. Now with people not having that, and eventually they did say that they will bring it in. I think they said tentatively around May, they plan to have that feature in. But for the meantime, players can't play with their friends in a first-person shooter. 2, they can't replay their favorite missions, and Yeah, I think that's the biggest two things. And
Well, there's some issues with Battle Pass. Apparently, people are not um, happy with Battle Pass. I don't know specifically, but that seems to be one of the things that I'm
really,
There's
looking
also
for.
really grindy, really grindy.
There's also
Yeah.
Forge. Forge isn't going to be added on until I think later in 2022. If that's one of the things that people are kind of complaining about. The
So
Battle
it's not
Pass-
really.
Regional
It's one of
level?
those. It's one of those things where a game is released unfinished or incomplete, and this has happened before, where people are expecting one thing, and you get another deja vu in this episode, right?
Well,
Mm.
yeah,
Oh,
it's not done. Well, the campaign is essentially done. The story is essentially done. It's just that the added benefits, which multiplayer co-op rather, it's not done. And it's not the developers' fault. I mean, they're doing the best they can, but the ones who signed the checks of the developers want this game to come out holiday, which I understand. But a lot of companies have been doing this lately, where they promise a game to be coming out at a certain time. They give it a great media, social media.
That's called the games industry.
Yeah,
I don't know how you're shocked by this.
I'm not shocked by it. I don't like it, but like
His
we
mind
all
is
know-
blown right now.
Yeah, it's like what?
Some people out there.
No, I hate it, but I hate.
But
that
didn't Halo? Isn't this the delayed release date for Halo Infinite? Wasn't
Yeah,
it a year
was
delayed
supposed to-
already?
Yeah, it's a year delayed already.
So it's already a year delayed. So I think we could shift. I would shift the. I think giving a 343 a year to fix their stuff or get their stuff aligned or whatever their issues are. And mind you, we saw the first footage from Halo. Remember that first footage we got, and it looked like 360 game.
Yeah,
So I mean, clearly sums up and it's 343. It's not, I wouldn't say Microsoft probably just lays down, look, we're launching a new console. This is the franchise. It needs to be ready to go. You've had several years to do it. So clearly they had to realign something. So I would say it's on 343 at this point, because the Reddit that got taken down apparently had a lot of death threats and insults aimed at 343. So
Oh, I want to read those.
Yeah.
So bad.
I did hear about those.
People on this
Yeah.
podcast, we do not condone such things, obviously,
Mhm.
but it's crazy that
Declare fatwa on 343. That's all I'm saying.
okay. Thank you,
thank you, thank you, Victor, for that thrilling commentary. Send all hate mail to the underground.
Wait.
But
Twitch.tv.
yeah, Twitch.tv. But the thing is that, you know, with games like this, I mean, it's kind of giving me Cyberpunk vibes, but to a much lesser degree. Cyberpunk, even to this day, for console players, is very painful to play at times, especially for older console players, for last gen consoles. For this, I don't. For Halo, like playing online, so I played with the Ed Underground recently on some Halo, and it was not bad. It was a pretty decent experience. It was pretty good. The problem, I guess, that it was just, you know, it took me like almost an hour to connect because I was running into bugs, certain issues, and so forth. And these are not like small issues. These are very well-known issues within the game and so forth. But the one thing I would give 343 Studios a lot of credit for, unlike what they Project CZ Red did for Cyberpunk, was that 343 said that, you know, the multiplayer is a beta. They weren't, you know, they didn't hide anything saying, "Oh my goodness, this is not a beta. This is the full finished game. This is going to come out polished and so forth." They said, "Hey, congratulations, Xbox on your 20-year anniversary. We're releasing the game, the multiplayer, as a beta for you to play right now." So the expectation of the game, and this is where I think people like really miss out on. They miss the critical thinking aspect sometimes. And what I'm really saying is a lot of people are just dumb. The game is a beta. It says the beta, so there's going to be bugs with it. If you don't understand what a beta is, then you probably shouldn't be playing the game. Now, and if you're going to complain about bugs, then you probably shouldn't be playing the game, because this is not the finished game. You're getting the game for free, first and foremost. It's been claimed as a beta, and yet you still have the audacity to say, "Oh my goodness, there's bugs on it." Like, what the hell do you think was going to happen? And at least we got that. Now, as far as 343 Studios not putting out a complete product in a timely manner, I mean, that's kind of, I blame 343 for that because they pushed out Halo. They pushed out.
Could I be devil's advocate here and
Sure,
say that that yeah, what you said is true, but in this industry where we've learned time and time again, if you release an unpolished product with an expectation that it will be polished in any capacity, you will have criticism. And Halo is a major brand; it's a major franchise. If they were going to release the beta, even if they put it out there that it's going to
franchise. No, it's a flagship franchise.
It's a flagship franchise. So yeah, it is. It should. Yeah, it's a flagship franchise for Xbox for Xbox. And if you are not confident in your product, don't put it out there to get bad PR. I think that's the safest bet. I think these big publishers and they're not learning the mistakes that other ones are making, like CD Projekt Red. You gotta be able to stand behind your product in any capacity.
Yeah.
So if it's not ready, it's not ready. If it is ready, it is ready.
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say Nintendo would never do this, but they did that with Nintendo Online. Their whole emulator that they put out absolutely failed in a dumpster fire. And I haven't checked up on it to see if it's been fixed since its initial release.
It's the same.
You're talking about 64?
The 64 emulator.
Oh yeah, I have not tried it myself.
It's the same.
But let's be honest. I don't think I can't think of in my mind of any game that Nintendo has put out that's been a flagship franchise that has absolutely shit the bed as far as Project CD Red, or even with Halo coming out as a beta. I can't think of any time that Nintendo
recently or all time. Because didn't Metroid Prime, the initial Metroid Prime, come out with a major game-breaking bug that required a USB stick attachment?
Recently?
Talking Metroid Prime, dude.
Prime, not Dread.
Sim City, right?
I've never
Didn't
heard
when they went online, people couldn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think. I think Metroid Prime is a major one.
Yeah, that's not flag. I wouldn't say SimCity is a flagship Nintendo.
Well, yeah, it's not.
No.
I can't think
but
of.
You can talk about Super Smash Brothers Online. I think has been a big point of contention for a lot of longtime fans that it's just not at the caliber of fighting games, other fighting games.
Well, game wise, it's great. Playing online is a different story, though. We're talking about like focusing more online, like Nintendo.
Yeah, is that still the case? Yeah, that seal of approval is garbage. Any kid who grew up in the 90s, they would slap that seal of approval on any damn thing in the world. Yeah, it don't mean nothing. It took me a while to realize.
So,
well, Max says Nintendo Online services has always been terrible, but no big game botch that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything from Nintendo.
Wasn't there a Star Fox game that was pretty bad? I'm trying to think back.
Released.
There's only been 3.
You're talking about the Star Fox where he was like
Wii U?
Dino
yeah,
World.
the Dino Land, whatever.
Yeah, that was
decent.
That was
no.
They didn't release it.
Yeah.
No, that never came out. He's right. But I thought there was a.
You played it.
It came out as something else.
Something else.
What was the last Star Fox game? I'm thinking Wii U. I think there was major issues with the Wii U release of a Star Fox game.
I can't remember honestly.
No, okay.
There was.
See, this is the Nintendo magic. This is the Nintendo magic, just like the Disney magic, where if they fuck up, they will cover it up, and you will never think about it. So
somehow
it never happened.
Memories.
Never happened.
They do the Men in Black thing, like, hey guys, just turn on, watch the Nintendo logo real quick, and then boom, your memory's gone.
You guys want Waluigi in Smash? And just
that's true. But no, I think like for as far as like. I agree. Like publishers are not learning their lesson. CD Projekt Red turning, even though that's the thing. Like Cyberpunk made such great money on release, but it was such a shitty project. shitty game. And then like even look at GTA Remastered, right? GTA Remastered looks absolutely horrendous compared to the actual PC mods that are out there of updated graphics and so forth. And it just blows my mind that these publishers aren't able to get away with it so many times because people are hungry for new content. They want to relive that nostalgia. Like if it wasn't for the fact that GTA 3 was remake or HD remake was horrible, I probably would have picked it up because I used to love GTA back in the day. Benito Mac, he's in the chat. He used to have Grand Theft Auto 3. I used to, as a kid, always want to go to the house and play it because I didn't have it at home, but my parents wouldn't allow it. So it's just that nostalgia factor I really love about the game. But it blows my mind that so many people are allowed to get away with these horrible ports, these horrible remakes, and so forth. And Halo is just the newest thing or the newest IP that has been a victim of this type of release. But like I said, the one thing I give Halo a pass on is because of the fact they gave it they said it was a beta and they said, hey, these things are not ready. They're going to come out over time. The one thing that I am worried about is this is something that's very common in Steam. There are games that have been out for years, and have not passed the beta stage where you pay for the game. People have bought the game years ago, but years later, the game is still in beta. And literally the publishers and the developers have said, well, this game is going to be in beta indefinitely. So you bought a game that was incomplete, but they're going to continue to add other stuff to it and improve it over time. And that's basically the life cycle, like development of any type of program, application, game that you do. You're always going to find hot fixes you need to apply and so forth. But it's getting kind of dangerous that now in the PC world that's so prevalent, now they're going to do this in the console world where normally before you had to launch a game complete. You couldn't do this whole beta thing and then constantly just string people along. Now it seems like that's going to become a prevalent thing within consoles, which is kind of scary when these companies are spending tens, hundreds of millions of dollars on a game and it's never complete. And people like us are going to buy it and then think we're going to get a full product, paying $60, $70 for it, and then get nothing in return.
I will give it to 343 for this, though. They did make the Halo multiplayer beta. They did make it free. I'm glad they said it was a beta. And I'm glad they pushed back a year to actually work on the campaign and the multiplayer. I've only played 50 minutes of the campaign. From just the 50 minutes, I can only see a little bit. It's been smooth. And for the most part, a lot of article outlets or whatever, they've been giving Halo Infinite, the campaign, a 9 out of 10. I haven't seen a 10 out of 10 yet, but so far so good. It's been smooth. I can't say that with like CD Projekt Red or whatever actually hiding parts of their videos and expecting us to buy it, which a lot of people did and get sued.
They literally did that.
Yeah, they did it. No, they
Yeah.
did. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying they did. Yeah, they had videos where they had.
You say you can't see 343 doing that. What they did for Cyberpunk.
I can't, and I'm really glad about that. I think it's because Microsoft is behind it, and they've seen. I mean, think about it like this: it's Halo.
The fact that Microsoft is behind it makes me think that that is something they're absolutely trying at every corner to do, to try to hide it and deceive you and try to get you in the door in some fashion. I think 343 is probably more genuine about where they are and where they stand, and I'm sure they have pressure from Microsoft. But
CD Projekt
Microsoft
Red clearly just lied out.
notoriously,
They got my boy Keanu Reeves and just like lied to everybody. CD Projekt,
yeah, that's
at least
true.
Microsoft held back a year after we saw the first footage.
Well, Cyberpunk was also delayed. Cyberpunk also got its fair share of delays.
It was delayed for what, 7 years?
Yeah, it was delayed a long time, and it should have been delayed maybe 2 more years.
I don't think it should have came. Yeah, it should have came out to like maybe next gen. at that.
Yeah, it should have come out this year, maybe.
Can I say something though? I just kind of want to just throw this in Ed's face because it makes me feel good. What kind of I'm happy for Xbox. I'm happy for Xbox because finally you guys have gotten a console exclusive game that's actually scored above. Yeah, I mean,
there's been several.
No, let me finish. That a console exclusive that scored above 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
What games are you talking about that has a console exclusive?
Forza got 10 out of 10.
Okay,
Forza's
Damn.
Forza's new.
Good 'em.
Yeah,
base.
It's Xbox's thing. It's
Okay,
not
okay,
Nintendo and other consoles.
You finally got
Forza is not the flagship though. Halo is the flagship.
I would
Halo's
say
flagship.
it's got close
Dreamcast
second.
said console exclusive.
Okay,
Forza's
I said console
flagship?
exclusive.
Damn.
I said console exclusive.
That's console exclusive.
So these are two games that came out recently. What other games?
It came out. It came out.
Yeah, they came out,
I
man.
know, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
They came out.
Other
He's
consoles.
got you there.
Yeah, he's like,
Bitch.
hey, Xbox has gone through 20 years, but finally we got something in the last decade that's
They exist, don't it?
Yeah. I'm just
out.
happy because I look at other console games that other console exclusives on other consoles, and it's just so refreshing to see that there might be a little bit of competition now. Xbox has become relevant recently. Because I was looking at God of War. I'm going based off IGN scores because that's the only one that I saw that was a 9 out of 10 recently. So, but I look at like The Last of Us 2, a game that you obviously were triggered a long time ago.
Yeah,
Game of the
year.
Because
Let's not go there.
but yeah, game of the year. 10 out of 10 on IGN. Let's see. God of War, another game of the year contender. 10 out of 10 on IGN. And these are games that are not recent, but these are long-standing franchises. So it's just I'm happy for you, Ed, that you finally get to experience some decent games, console exclusives on your Xboxes. That you're not just buying an Xbox to play other games that us other console players get to enjoy along with our exclusives. So how does it feel to actually play good exclusives?
How does it feel for PlayStation to actually try to copy Game Pass's model called Spartacus?
Is it coming?
Yeah, they've said they've been working on it.
It's been rumored.
Oh, it is game over then.
Is it though?
PlayStation.
Damn.
I don't know.
Let's be real.
I thought that was a dream, baby.
Ed, okay, now we've already talked about this before in the podcast. Also, I'm so happy we're talking about some other shit other than.
Oh yeah, I know. It
General
feels good.
politics.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting excited now. I actually stood up in my chair. Like everybody's off their phones now. Green Turner. I think we've already lost Green Turner though. I think he's.
Yeah, he's checked out. He's on Reddit. He's on Reddit. He's
Yeah.
making death threats for
That's
343
right.
right
I
now.
am making death threats
Just for the
for
lulz.
Yeah. But yeah, we've said this several times. Game Pass by far, Xbox, that was the one thing that was going for them that no other console has been able to compare with. By far. Even on console or even on PC, Steam cannot touch the amount of free games and free content that Xbox has given.
I would even say that the Series S, a lot of people are really liking the Series S, and a lot of people have been giving praise to it that it's.
I have the Series S.
Well, yeah, because price wise, like for a lot of people are
cheaper.
saying that are
It's cheaper, yeah. It's extremely cheaper.
Yeah, cheap, and for a PC, that's kind of mind-boggling how it can produce this graphics, whatever games on that kind of price. From what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, it's but I mean every console is doing that. Where except for Switch, where they gotten rid of, they're going all to digital and not doing like hard drive or hard disk consoles. But what I'm saying is that Game Pass, as far as competitiveness towards other consoles, we have all agreed that Game Pass is killing it. As far as
Did we? I think there's one person here who didn't, but go ahead.
no, I think it's uniformly we all think. Green Turner, do you think Game Pass is the best offering out of all consoles?
Sure.
Yeah, so he agrees. Darkside, do you agree?
Yeah,
that-
Darkseid, do you agree?
I literally bought an Xbox because of Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree
Okay.
too.
I mean, I have no reason to actually play it because the selection is garbage. But
Okay.
yeah, the deal, Game Pass, the deal the Game Pass offers if you climbed out of a cave and you're like, what year is it? Where am I? I'd be like, dude, check out Game Pass. It's the best deal ever. He'd be like, oh, this is heaven. This is amazing. However, if you've played games the last few years, you will look at Game Pass and go like, I played this. When is Halo coming out?
Yeah, like,
Wow.
And then you'll be like doing me like, oh, Halo's out. I'll dust off this thing I spend money on.
exactly. Like you keep asking me, Ed, or you're like, Eric, why haven't you bought Game or Game Pass on my on my Xbox? I say the reason why I haven't done it is because of the fact that there's games that I really am drawn to play. But the thing is that with
your humble opinion, go ahead.
Sure,
You may be wrong, but go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
It's
everyone's opinion.
Everybody has an opinion. But the thing is this: if you have a console that gives you everything else is better, game wise, has better reach in hardware, has better first party, third party games overall than the competitor, and they made a Game Pass model with everything that they do better, and they can be comparable in the service, the Game Pass service, as their, I'll say, third biggest competitor. That's gonna be very scary for Xbox. That's going to be very scary for Xbox. Because think of it like this. Let's say you have a car, right? You have a car that has all the bells and whistles, right? Has everything that... So you have a car that has all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't have a fast engine, right? It only goes 200 horsepower. But then you have another car over there that has none of the bells and whistles, but it has a very fast engine. You say, hey, well, the people that have the car that has all the bells and whistles, they say, wait, well, if we switch out the engine to make it an engine that's comparable to the second car that has a fast engine, and we put that in our car, what would people choose? And they're for the exact same price, let's say hypothetically, what would people choose?
Well, on paper, the Xbox Series X is actually more powerful than the PlayStation 5.
That's why I'm
on
saying.
Paper.
That's why that's the example.
I know.
They have the
I
better
get that.
engine.
I get that. But the well, right now it's a rumor that's been going around that they're trying to use the same model as a cloud, the cloud aspect
gaming.
of gaming. Yeah, for their Game Pass or Spartacus that they're going to use. And if that's the case, that's not that's not good because we're already experiencing that now. But what is it called? PlayStation Now or Plus? I forgot which one is which. But
well, they're combining. They're keeping PlayStation Plus.
They're combining it.
Get rid of PlayStation Now, the service, and combining it with.
But from the rumor is it's the same model. They're just combining it. So basically, you're playing cloud games. Basically, so you'll be playing the top flagship games, but on a cloud base.
Well,
so,
I'm sure.
We don't know. We don't know.
But I'm sure that. Yeah. But I mean, it's impossible that the download option is not there. Why would it be just cloud based?
Yeah,
I mean, it is right now.
They're saying, but they even said
no. But the service doesn't exist like that.
Yeah, they were going to close. Rumors are they're going to close down the PlayStation Now cloud-based stuff, and they're going to put it now all those games, the same feature of playing games, just like with Game Pass, put it onto now PS Plus and have it as one bundle. So if they took that PS Now and made it into a downloadable service, just like Game Pass. As I said before, with the example I just gave you, Xbox is going to be in trouble because at that point, if you give all these great titles and now you can play them for free with a PlayStation Plus membership, Xbox is going to be in trouble.
Did you hear?
Because everything else that PlayStation does for the most part, games wise, please believe, consoles need games. If you don't have good games, there's no point in buying a console. So if you have a console with great games and you offer them for free, just like with Xbox, and Xbox's game library is not that great overall, who do you think people are going to be drawn to?
Did you hear the tiers that they're having? The rumor of the tiers? There's going to be 3 tiers, and they're not cheap. I forgot the exact pricing, but it's not cheap.
Okay, I'll pay more for good games. Why? But that's why I don't. Even for Xbox being cheap for $15 a month for the Ultimate package or whatever, I think that's still too expensive because there's nothing I'm going to play on that.
Well, it's cool that they have tiers. At least it gives you options. I don't think Game Pass has tiers. You just have to go with whatever they give you.
Yeah, it's no. Well, there's no tiers, but you do have 2 options. You can pay, I think, $9 a month, And if you want Ultimate, you pay $15 a month. So there's not a tier, but there's like, hey, you want this, you can just do this and that. But
If you want console
this,
only or you want console and PC,
yeah,
there's two tiers.
That's the difference.
so
yeah.
the $15 is console and PC, and you can stream it on your phone and
So
stuff
the
like
three
that.
tiers are for like 3 tiers for console owners. It's like 3 pricing structures.
Yeah,
So it's
and
more
I forgot the
accessible.
price, but it's well, I'll say it like this: for like Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15, is going to be more for whatever PlayStation Spartacus.
I mean, that's fine. In either case, that's fine. All I'm saying is that you boys are in trouble. And if PlayStation comes through, they've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while.
I don't represent Xbox. I represent, if anything, Nintendo. Nintendo's
well,
pretty hot right now.
Yeah, let them know they're fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Call Bill Gates and say, "Hey, Bill Gates,
Bill, you're fucked, man.
Yeah, you're fucked, dude."
Even though you don't participate in the company anymore.
Like Bill's like, I don't work there anymore.
Like, I don't care.
Okay,
Bill.
you're fucked, bud.
You're
Can I get a Zune?
Yeah. You said Zune.
Yeah, man. If I ever see him, I
Oh,
want a
that was
Zune.
the best. I love the Zoom.
Zunes
At
were pretty
least,
cool.
at least Microsoft doesn't have any CEOs.
Pedophiles.
Pedophiles. Yeah, that was pretty
yeah.
sad, man, to hear.
Pedo CEOs.
Yeah.
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 I'm not sad.
For him,
I'm happy.
PS5 meant 5-year-olds.
And the thing is, yeah, I mean,
What?
So on that episode, no,
Move on.
no. Okay, so
Yikes.
for people that don't know,
Yikes.
a developer, was he like CEO of project
He
development?
was a PSN.
Senior developer manager, right?
Yeah, something in PSN.
CEO.
Yeah, he was like a developer, a senior developer on the PS5, and he got caught up in a pedal sting, where he was asking a 15-year-old boy to come onto his house late at night, obviously to do things that are illegal. And this idiot, I'm glad that he was stupid because he got caught. He should be thrown into the jail, everything else. But this idiot wore a PS5 shirt to the door.
Hey, he's
rapping.
repping. He's repping big time.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
he was full on pedo, because if you're gonna do something stupid like that, I mean, it's like pulling up to a pedo sting in a white van that says "free candy."
Free candy.
Like he was
Hell
trying to
yeah.
attract, like, hey youngster, I got a PS5 on my shirt. Like, come into my house at 4 o'clock in the kid. He had called a kid to come to his house at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, I mean, these people. I really hope he gets maximum time. He should go to jail. 100%.
He's not gonna. Here's the problem with this.
Oh, he's not.
I'm a big fan of these. Oh well, I was a
Stings.
big fan. Well, they're not stings. All right, let's
stings.
clarify
Okay.
here. They're
They're
YouTube.
stings.
They're amateur YouTube videos where they catch pedophiles by like baiting them. And there's several videos, and they're entertaining. But the problem with them is the authorities are not involved.
Yeah.
And it gives them ample time to erase data. The police don't make any arrests or anything, and it screws up any chance for these guys to go to jail or get what's coming to them. And it's basically damaging evidence. So if these guys who make these videos really want to do some good, they should just turn over evidence to police and not try to put it on YouTube and get their clicks. And this guy
Seems
probably
like
got
you know
millions
a
of
lot.
clicks.
Yeah.
But he's
And this
definitely
guy-
been
Yeah, well, it's pissed me
blacklisted,
off. It's pissed me off a lot.
No.
though. I get what you're saying, but he's definitely blacklisted. He's been fired already, and like I don't.
I mean,
think that's
his
good.
personal life, he's definitely damaged there, but he's not going to
but
get
he's not gonna
criminal.
suffer
He's not
any
going to get.
legal-
Yeah, he's not going to
yeah.
face.
Well, it
I mean, he
depends.
might.
Criminal
Hopefully, if he
charges.
They,
Yeah.
the problem is, and a lawyer had gone on and talked about the case, and they were saying that one of the biggest problems that a lot of these YouTubers they do is they put the evidence online for people to read. And I actually did click on the link to read. It's on a Google Drive of this guy's interaction, and in the court of public opinion, this guy is obviously guilty. Like as Ed has said, this guy's already been fired from Sony. And Sony's already taken legal action against this guy, or at least they fired him. As in, that's the action they took against him. But the problem is that when you put this evidence online, then you're giving all your ammunition to not only that person, but also to their legal team as well. And that person's legal team, now they have everything that you're going to come against them with. So now they can have something more to fight you with. Because, people, when they have run into these pedo cases, they're going to destroy evidence or so forth. A lot of times they're not, forthcoming with a lot of the conversations that they had and so forth. So you can catch people in lies. But now with this, you giving them like, hey, this is what I got on you. This is everything. So now when they do a legal defense on this against the prosecutor, they know exactly what they can work with, as opposed to kind of getting,
So these guys are amateurs, and it's happened before. If you look it up and research it, there's people who've been wrongfully accused and they took their own lives because they're, they were accused of something that's horrible. How can you live, and no one's going to believe you? And it was on YouTube, and these are amateurs doing this on YouTube, and you could risk someone's life if you're not 100% sure. So that's why I watched a lot of those videos, but then when I looked into the reality of some of that stuff, it's pretty messed up, and it's a weird area because you want to encourage people to go after some of these people, but if they're not doing it right, and you're kind of letting people off, then what's the point?
Yeah, you can let people off. You can either get somebody who's legitimately a pedo, you get them off, or you screw up, and then now somebody's life is over because as we know, things on the internet stay forever. So you say something as damaging as that, and it gets any type of traction. There's people to this day, they've done stupid stuff on the internet, recorded themselves, put it on the internet, not thinking anything of it, and 10, 15 years later still can't land a job. Because
true Creamcast, true. Well said.
So but I me personally, I don't necessarily condone these things. Like I definitely want to see people who are pedos obviously get in trouble, but it's one of those things like, if you ever it's
got to be done right.
You gotta be done right. And for any of our listeners, if you ever get the notion to do something stupid like this, make sure you talk to your local authorities about it first. Go around the right methods, because there's a lot of ramifications that can happen because of this. But outside of that, I'm not gonna even make fun of the situation. I'm not gonna say, haha, look at Sony, they have pedos, because that has nothing to do with Sony whatsoever.
Even though that's what Ed Underground's sick transition was.
Yeah.
It was not my intention.
Messed up.
No, I'm not gonna.
Messed up. Making jokes about pedophiles. That's in low taste.
Yeah. Shut up, Green.
Go back to sleep. Yeah, Green Shooter, he only wakes up and comes into focus on the camera just to troll. Goes back.
Right. Jeez, man, what's wrong with you? But yeah, I'm not even trying to talk about it about that, but it's just I've seen so many times where an individual do something wrong for a company, and then everybody jumps on the company oh my goodness.
Yeah, the company's not responsible.
Yeah, the company's so racist, and it's no, the company has nothing to do with it. And granted, there are places where horrible work cultures that the company turns blind eye to, but you gotta kind of play, situation by situation. But at this point, I don't think Sony was like, "Hey, guess what? We have a pedo in our development team. Yeah, we hit the money on
he
that."
He can really get into the minds of those preteens, I tell you.
And,
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, let's all right.
And this has been episode 27 of the Blurred Podcast.
Good Lord.
This is going to be Green Tuner's final episode. Anything you want to say, Green Tuner, before you leave? Actually, never mind. You can't talk.
Children are the future. Stay strong. Believe in yourself. We should all get along.
I know.
Well, when you actually edit this episode, just bleep yourself out the entire episode. You're just gonna hear beep. But yeah, I think that's it. You guys got anything else we want to talk about?
Movies coming up. Yeah, well, no, Spider-Man.
Next episode.
Oh, next episode.
Game show, right?
Oh, Game Awards.
Yeah, Game Awards. Yes.
Game Award, yeah.
We were going to talk about Hawkeye. That's something that's coming up in the future, but we're just not sure how many episodes that's going to be. So
we want to wait until it's finished so we can review the whole series.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm sure there's going to be a little content drought in January, so that might be a good time to visit.
Yeah, definitely.
Hawkeye. Looking at the next 3 weeks, right, of the year left. Is that pretty much all we have left for?
We have got 3 weeks.
2021. So yeah, Game Awards. Week after that, we're gonna have Spider-Man.
Oh,
and then
yes.
Week after that, I think Matrix, right?
4.
Matrix 4.
And
How you guys doing with Spider-Man? It's pretty cutthroat out there to get tickets.
I told you,
I have no
motherfuckers. I
tickets.
got
I
my
got my
ticket right
tickets.
away.
I got my
I'm gonna
tickets.
sneak in. That's my plan. So.
All right.
Wow.
Mhm.
You're
Well,
just
good
gonna-
luck to you.
You're just gonna sit on the stairs or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I
he's
know what I'm
gonna
doing.
Pop up on a World Star.
Yeah.
You know, like man gets beaten to death for trying to sneak into
Sneak into
Spider-Man movie.
Adult man beaten to death.
Yeah. Old man tries to fight kid for gets ass whooped.
All I ask is
old
when they're
man
beating you
thinks
to
it's
death,
2003 and
plug the
sneaks in the
pod
movie.
plug the pod when they're beating you to death. That's all I ask.
Yeah, plug. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can have merch by then. So then maybe you can
That's
wear
true.
Wow.
Yeah,
Blurred
we're like
podcast.
the blurred
maybe
merch.
if anyone we know can make some merch for us if they are inclined or have the ability to. But
That would be awesome.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, that would
we don't
be
know
a piece
anyone.
of shit.
We did have
Yeah.
a person. We did have a person that could edit our videos, but he obviously could not do it well. So
Mhm.
I'm
to move on,
yeah.
separate from that situation.
That person can do it well, but that person may have not the time to
Maybe
do
it's a good thing where that merch
What?
isn't handled by
You
that
should have
person
more
then.
time now than before. You
Yeah.
basically just appear on the show at this point.
That's not how time works.
what?
The fact that he said that's not how time works. I can't wait till that situation happens where I can say that to somebody. Like you have all the time in the world. That's not how time works. That's perfect. Ed can spend his time doing whatever he wants. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, he doesn't do anything with the podcast anymore, other than show up. And
Yeah, he's there to look sexy, all right?
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't
doing his
work-
job.
he doesn't work on our merch. or
That is true.
Social
How about
media.
you give us a little twirl there?
Yeah, yeah. Just
No?
be.
Get a super chat or whatever.
Like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Super chat. Get those tokens ready.
Get those roses ready, baby. Anywho, all right. So we talked about what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Oh, another thing I think we should do. We should break this down into seasons. I think that just for our listeners to know, like, hey, this is season 1 of the Blur Podcast. 2022, we start with season 2. I think that'd be kind of cool. You know,
That's true.
step up this podcast a little bit in professionalism.
What season would this be?
Season 1.
This will be
Season
called
1, obviously.
Yeah.
Season 1,
Season
aka
one.
the Incel Saga, referring to.
to.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The rise of the incels.
Well, season 2. Look forward to season 2 with new characters, I assume. Hopefully, dear
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. I just need to
We'll
find
just
honest-
replace that with someone else. Just call him Ed.
Yeah. I mean, we just need someone.
Yeah, we had
Will
to
it be
make
a
some,
girl though? Will it be a girl?
I mean, that would be a change of
Sure,
opinion.
yeah, that'd
Sure.
be good. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, at least
We get something different.
I
Wow.
mean, she wouldn't at least be upset about all the lesbian scenes that don't happen on camera.
You
All
never
these
know.
imaginary lesbians that are taking over our media.
Mhm.
Jeez, you know the funny thing is we have gone through. You know, maybe we should do this like a year in review for like our last episode because the Matrix I think comes out on Christmas Day, right?
22nd.
22nd. Okay, so then yeah, we could talk about it in our last week of the podcast. Well, yeah, we need to do like a year in review of some of like our biggest topics that we discussed because I feel like for a lot of our episodes, somehow it always sneaks in some lesbian talk. Like it has either we're talking about lesbians.
The boy's obsessed, and
Yeah.
you know, we're
Anti-sex
we're
song.
all no different, but
If it's
in a different way.
if it's there, it's there. That's all I'm saying.
You just love to watch it.
And when it's not there, it's still there, baby.
No.
It still matches
Whether
into
you
my-
like it or not.
He's like, look at that mother and daughter embracing. I think they're about to have sex. Like, hey, come on. You just go down this rabbit hole. I don't know how you do it. But you have a great imagination. You know, you would be really good as a porn director. I think you would.
Yeah.
What the?
It would be. It would. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you'll take the most mundane situations. Like, yeah, these two ladies were fighting against a horde of demons, and somehow they stopped mid scene, mid fight. They looked at each other. They gave each other a wink. They start scissoring in the middle of the battlefield. That's the type of shit. That's the type of shit you imagine in everything that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm. Except where it's clearly there, like Gundam Wing, he can't see it there.
Gundam
But-
Wing is yes.
It's like dripping in homoeroticism. He can't see that, but he can see it. He sees it in friggin' He-Man.
You know what this
Revelations.
sounds like though? This sounds like a good episode for season 2 of Cowboy Bebop.
What?
What is?
everything you said.
Boy's brain is frying.
Oh.
Well, for our listeners,
The direction
for
and
the past
everything.
week, like we thought Cowboy Bebop was over, like the episode. There was an after hours with Ed and us for a whole week, telling us quotes of Cowboy Bebop, telling us all the things that are wrong with Cowboy Bebop. He found all the cringe compilations on YouTube of Cowboy
He's
Bebop.
relentless.
Wow. Yeah. If you ever go missing, just say that we're kidnapped by lesbians. Ed would be on the case. He will find us instantly.
Find us, yeah.
Yeah,
He'd be motivated.
Yeah.
He'd be motivated.
Yeah, extremely motivated. Anywho,
My
all
goodness.
right, guys. I think we've beat the lesbian stuff to
Pretty
to
much.
that. And
We beat that to submission.
We did.
By day don't.
By day.
By
to
day,
submission.
Still
by
here.
day, though.
She's gonna listen.
All right,
to
take
this
us out,
episode. She's gonna be like, "What the hell?" Language of my people.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode
Oppression,
20.
repression, transgression, indirection, indigestion.
Yeah, that's for our listeners. That's an inside joke. It's an inside joke of a person that we know.
Yeah, the incredibly inside joke. All right, let's get it off here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 27 of the Blurred Podcast. You can find us on all major platforms and live on twitch.tv/the Blurred Podcast. Blur you later.
Blur
we-
you later.
We have the power.
Oh,
We-
God, I was thinking about that too.
Why did you say that?
Because it was too cringe when I first saw it. Go ahead.
Hey, just say it one time. We have the power.
No, I'll say I have the power.
You pansy.
I have the power.
And outro.